all these people would have died probably because they need food in the past. But today we have options, right? We can choose. Can you tell me, did your prophet have a supermarket?
Huh?
Does your prophet, was your prophet able to have yeah, did he have a supermarket in his location?
Yeah.
He had a supermarket?
1400 years ago, he had a supermarket.
Like, what was it? Tesco?
But like, yeah, they had a market before, but not like,
yeah,
not
but it
today.
wasn't, yeah, but exactly, that is the point. Exactly, that is the point.
Rot, usually.
Exactly.
Which type of animal you eat?
I don't eat any animals.
Great.
Lotus, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, of course. Hit me.
Are you making the point that back then people couldn't survive without eating like meat, but now we have other options, so it's now becoming haram to eat food because...
No.
I would be making that point.
Can you explain
this? Yeah, so I would say this, right? If it is not needed anymore, right? If you accept that it's not needed anymore, you have to ask yourself, why did you kill the animal then? For what reason, if it's not necessary?
I guess.
And usually,
it's a good idea not to
people,
make the point
wait, hold on.
about
People will say a few things. They will say, it is tasty, it is convenient, or it's my culture, right? Some of these, and when you say it is pleasurable, you do it because it's tasty, I think then you can say, yeah, this is haram, I believe, yes. This is how, like, killing for pleasure is bad.
Yes.
Yeah, killing for pleasure is bad. And if you can get your nutrition from plants, why would you kill an animal that can feel pain and happiness?
No, it's haram.
I mean,
it's haram.
God gave these creatures and humans and other animals, pain and happiness for a reason. He didn't do this like without reason. He thought something about this, right? So that animals and humans can run away and get something positive, right?
But that's what I said. It's basically back then it was halal because people had no other options. But today, since we have other options, since we can access the vegan diet, it became haram. Like, is that what you're saying?
That's the point he was making the first time as well.
Yeah, I think so,
Val wasn't listening.
Unless you can give me a good reason not to, yeah. I think killing for pleasure is bad.
No, I would say, Islamically speaking, it's wrong. No scholar in Islam said that eating food is haram. In fact, we have the Eid Fitr, which is a whole festival where when like we slaughter sheep, and every single year God gave us this festival to slaughter sheep every single year. So this whole argument of religion is completely false.
Yeah, so why would you sacrifice? By the way, the animal doesn't even sacrifice. You are deciding to sacrifice the animal because the animal doesn't want to be killed. A sacrifice a sacrifice is something that one does voluntarily.
Sorry?
A sacrifice is something that you do voluntarily because you want to, not because someone forces you. You are forcing the animal, so the animal doesn't sacrifice themselves.
So let me explain. Are you saying it's not necessary for Muslims to sacrifice? I would say no. It is actually an obligation that God gave for Muslims to sacrifice. Now, you might tell me some people, they don't have the money to buy a sheep and slaughter it. I would say yes. In that case, that's an exception. Then you don't have to sacrifice because you don't have money. But I'm saying from an Islamic point of view, of course, okay? Because I'm a Muslim, right?
So
Islam.
You are saying that you will end up in hell if you don't slaughter an animal?
No, I never said that. I just said it's an obligation upon Muslims.
Yeah. So basically, if you're a good Muslim and you don't want to kill animals, right? You will end up in hell because you did not kill the animal?
I never said you will end up in hell. Look, don't put things
Fair.
into my mouth. I
Yeah,
just said
I'm asking you.
Islamically.
I'm asking. No. I'm
Okay.
asking you. I asked a question.
No
I
problem.
asked a question.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So then, what is the issue? Then why wouldn't you then show mercy? Right.
Okay,
That's the whole point.
Look,
Couldn't you sacrifice something else?
I'm telling you from an Islamic
Money.
point of view. I'm saying that no, you don't necessarily like you not sacrificing an animal. That doesn't necessarily mean you're going to hell. I never said that. All I'm saying
Okay.
is all Muslims, all scholars.
No
Every
sound
year.
coming out, Nexus.
Now, yes, I'm listening. What do you want to say?
Can I give you a hadith? Quote you a hadith.
Yes.
The messenger said, "Anyone who shows mercy, even to an animal meant for slaughtering, will be shown mercy on the day of rising." You do not need to sacrifice for Eid. You don't need to sacrifice for Eid. You can show your devotion in any other way. You can surrender to God by helping others, not necessarily through food, which back then when it was written, that was people's wealth, was animals. The more animals you had, the more wealthy you were. But in 2025, people have money these days. You can sacrifice all sorts of different things these days without having to cut somebody's head off.
I mean, as long as you're preventing your own religion, then it would be fine. But let me just comment on the hadith you brought. Yes, as Muslims, we are being told to be merciful towards animals, of course, and there are various hadiths. I think it's even mentioned in the Quran, I'm not so sure. But yes, we are told to be merciful. But that doesn't mean we don't kill animal. That means we don't torture animal for fun. Because when you kill them out of resources, that's not... yeah, go ahead.
When you're saying you don't need to torture them, but do you have access to supermarkets?
Yeah.
You personally, okay, so you personally have access to thousands of different options, which means you no longer need to kill somebody to eat. And that is potentially sinful, Nexus.
I mean, no, it's not sinful. As I said, as long as you're...
We gotta
if
veganize
you're eating
imams.
for pleasure, because that then becomes a pleasure. That's not necessity. If you have access to thousands of other options, that's not necessity.
I would just say, look, bro, come on, let me. Okay, here's what I would say. Islam never says it's wrong to eat animal food. In fact, no scholar in the Islamic history says it's wrong. We have halal food, we have haram food. Eating haram food is wrong, but eating halal is
I mean, Islam at this point is like not about Allah and Muhammad. It's about the scholars. It's about the imams. It's about the human beings. Like, I think all religions are at this point are more about the hadith written by a human being than about like, I mean, everything was written by a human being, but I'm just saying.
Killing for pleasure is haram. And you have thousands of other options in a supermarket. So the most merciful option.
To me, it seems like, for instance, Judaism is like all about tradition at this point. So a bunch of it isn't even written in the sacred text or whatever.
Merciful and is sinful. I don't think that. I think it's completely fine. I think just like you're taking apples from the tree, you are killing an animal. That's our human nature. What? We have been created for this.
Killing an apple is killing an animal, the same as killing an animal.
I didn't say killing an apple. I said taking an apple from the tree is like killing an animal. We are human beings.
Is taking an apple, which is not sentient, the same as cutting the throat of an animal who is sentient?
Because God allowed it.
In what way?
It's so stupid.
In what way? In both cases, it's not sinful. That's how I see it.
So you think that do plants feel pain that makes it the same, or?
No. I'm not.
No,
look,
don't.
I'm
You're
not
trying to
bringing
reason
the
with
pain
them.
argument.
You didn't go there.
I'm not bringing the pain, even though do you know that plants do feel pain, like scientifically.
Oh my fucking God.
Please don't,
But-
because that is so wrong.
Please. Oh
If
my
you-
I don't think so.
fucking
If you were
God.
walking by a river and you saw a dog drowning in the water and next to the dog was a carrot in the water, which would you be concerned about and which would you save?
I would save the dog
Yeah, why?
because the fruit gets hurt when you take it off from the tree. The carrot has been already taken off, so it's like there's no point in saving it. I would save the dog.
This is a waste of time.
Yeah, it's a carrot in a
Fuck.
plant, right? It's carrot that's still planted somehow in a plant, right? So are you going to save the carrot or the dog?
I would save the dog.
Why? A carrot is
Because
going to
he has
drown, man.
emotions.
A carrot can feel pain as well, right? Shouldn't you be flipping
No,
a coin?
If carrot drowns, it's not gonna feel pain. In fact, it can be in like.
So a carrot
Look,
is not
the
going to feel a
example you're
pain.
giving
Hold
is
on,
just
hold on.
so
So
stupid.
hold on. So a carrot is not going to feel pain, but a dog will, right? So you know that animals feel pain and plants don't.
No, I'm saying if you look, if you drown a dog to death, yes, he might be killed, but it's not the same. Like this example doesn't work in the first place.
Exactly. So it's not the
you're
same
not
to
getting it.
allow a dog to drown and allow a carrot to drown. So shouldn't you pick to eat carrots and other plants rather than eating animals, since you quite clearly know the distinction between them? And you just like trying to troll us with that plants feel pain thing?
I'm not. First of all, I'm not trolling, but second of all, yes, scientifically, it has been proven that fruit and plants do feel pain.
Oh,
No.
please provide evidence for that scientifically proven fact. Do it right now, please.
Sorry, what?
Provide scientific evidence for this scientifically proven fact that plants can feel pain, please.
And while you're looking for that, I'll explain why that's wrong. In order to have an experience of anything, there is a vital requirement, and that is a brain and a central nervous system and senses like sight, smell, touch, hearing. These are vital to have an experience of anything. No plant on this planet has a brain, a central nervous system, and senses like sight, smell, taste, etc. They are physically unable to have any experience of anything.
So Nexus, are you providing evidence now that has been asked?
Yes, I'm looking for the evidence.
We're going to have a long way.
Wait,
Good.
just very briefly, have you informed your beliefs based on evidence already?
No,
Or are you
so
now?
just
or wait. Or are you just now looking
Yeah.
for evidence?
no, I know the evidence. I've seen it like years ago, but I don't have the resources. I'm not working with my resources in my pocket. That's one thing. The second thing, I'm not saying it's the same. I'm not saying the plant pain is the same as an animal suffering and feeling pain. I never made that claim.
Okay.
All I said is yes, plants do feel pain, not in the same way as animal feels pain.
No.
of
So
course, but
lesser?
they do feel pain.
What do you mean?
Not-
You mean lesser? You like plants feel less pain than animals?
No, it's not about less pain.
So what's the difference between an animal feeling pain and a plant feeling pain? What's the difference there?
I mean, there are a lot of difference. Just look at a carrot and look at an animal, and you will discover the difference by your own.
So when I
I'm
look at the
totally-
carrot, I see a non-sentient being that can't feel pain. And when I look at a dog, when I step on a dog tail,
that
for
can't
instance,
feel pain.
hold on.
Yeah.
When I step on a dog tail, for instance, accidentally, a dog screams, right? Or like, in pain, right? And when I step on a carrot, absolutely fucking nothing happens. So when I look at them, I clearly see the carrot is not sentient and the dog is. So therefore, I would save the
No, I
dog.
feel-
So then the question
I'm
is,
sorry. I
Okay,
feel sorry for the carrot though, because
okay,
she cannot
just-
express her
Yeah.
like emotions.
Yeah, just a moment, Nexus. Nexus, just a moment. Here's another way of looking at it. Regardless of whether you are right or wrong, let's assume that plants do feel something. Let's just give you that one, okay? So plants do feel something. Where do most of the plants that we grow on this planet go to?
I don't know. You tell me.
I'll tell you, they go to the animals like cows, pigs, sheep, hens. That's where most of the plants that we grow go to. So if you care about plants being sentient, feeling pain, you will become vegan, because stopping eating animals means tens of millions of plants will stop being needed to feed those animals. So they will be
I would be probably starving myself to death. You know, it's wrong to eat animal, and it's wrong to eat plants. So I'm just gonna.
You don't do logic. You don't do logic very well, my friend.
I'm so close to telling him, yeah, go ahead.
Here's
Holy
what
shit.
Look, I know there's a huge difference, okay? And I didn't say eating the pain of an animal is the same as the pain of a plant. Of course not.
What's the difference? Can you please point at the difference? Yeah, you say it's not the same. What's the difference?
Look, look, we don't have to go. I don't know why you guys keep focusing on this.
Because this is
thing.
your excuse for exploiting and for paying for exploitation and slaughter of animals, right? So we want to know. Hold on. Let me speak for a second. So all we want to know is this excuse that you use to continue paying for exploitation and slaughter of animals. If it's correct, holy shit, we're gonna stop being vegans here. So please provide evidence. Please at least say something that is tangible, like what's the difference in pain between an animal and a plant? I said, well, do plants feel less pain? You said, no, it's not about less. So what's the difference?
The same question, by the way. I just told you, look at a dog and look at a carrot, and you'll know the difference by yourself.
Yeah, and I told you when I look at the two.
Thing, by the way, hang on. The second thing, I'm not the one who brought this pain argument, by the way. You guys did.
Fuck no.
Oh, no, you did. You compared an apple to a sheep or something.
I was talking about something else, and this guy brought up the pain argument. I never did.
No, we don't. This has nothing to do with pain.
Okay, so one more thing. You said exploiting animals.
Not one more thing. Please address the things that were said. You were the one who brought up that killing an animal is the same thing as picking off an apple. You were the one who said this.
No, it's pointless, guys. We keep speaking about the. I just told you.
Nexus.
It's not the same. Period. We don't have to go in circles.
Can I?
Yeah.
Just very brief. I just want to actually, and then you guys can carry on. Just one thing, because it's not about pain that we're arguing here. We actually want to challenge something more deeper. I will just give you one analogy, and then you guys can actually move on, because very important. Just 30 seconds. Like an analogy, okay? You want to make fire. On the left, you have, let's say, a pig or a cow, and on the right side, you have a piece of wood, and you can shoot the animal in the head without pain and kill them. Or you can use the piece of wood to make fire. Both give you the same amount of fire. Is it for you a coin flip? What option you decide?
Well, it's a pig and a cow this time.
To make choose the wood. Okay, now you guys can carry on. Sorry.
So that's it.
Yeah, Nexus, it's really clear, right, that you actually know the difference between plants and animals, and that hold on. And your attempt to equate those actually is like burning in flames right now, because you can't provide us with an explanation what difference in pain there is. And every time we asked you choose one, which one to kill, you said, yeah, obviously I'm going to save the animal, or I'm going to not kill the animal, and I'm going to use the plant. So can you please apply that now to your new understanding of why vegans make the claim that you better eat plants and not animals? Why are we quiet?
Short circuit.
Oh, I thought the Discord dropped off again.
No, he's still there. You're still there, Nexus.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want,
Okay.
do you want to answer VPM's question?
Yeah, I will answer her question. Here's my answer. I never claimed that they are the same. In fact, I said they are different. And I'm not the one who brought the pain argument. I was talking about veganism from
Can you
a
answer the
religious
question,
point
please?
of view. You guys brought this whole argument. I never did.
Doesn't
I'm
matter. Can
not
you answer my question,
equating-
please?
What was your question?
My question, was you clearly understand the difference between plants and animals and killing one or killing the other. You clearly understand the difference between them, right? So your claim that those two actions are the same, killing an animal and picking an apple, it was obviously wrong. So now I'm asking you, do you understand do you understand? Let me finish, Jesus. Do you understand the vegan position now that we're telling people, right? Just eat plants and don't kill animals. Do you understand the difference?
Here's the issue. I never said these two actions
Jesus, can you
are the
move on
same.
and answer the question?
I answered your question. You're saying, why did you say that they are the same?
I'm not
telling you,
asking that. I'm asking the question. Do you know? I'm asking the question. I'm going to repeat it the third time if it's possible for you to listen this time.
You keep saying...
No, you didn't hear my fucking question. You didn't hear my question, so let me repeat it.
Oh my God.
Can I repeat my question? I'm going to leave everything else aside. I'm just going to ask you a simple question, right? Do you now understand why vegans say just go eat a plant instead of killing an animal, since you realized that you would choose to save the animal every single time?
Okay, I'm not talking about eating something. Eating, of course, I think eating animal is much more healthy. I'm not speaking. I'm saying
what
we are talking about pain, and I said they're not the same.
Leave that alone. Literally, nobody else is talking about it.
Please. Stop making these annoying noises. Let me just finish.
Leave it alone.
Instead.
No, you please answer my question. Please answer my question.
Here is what I'm saying.
I'm not talking about pain anymore. Please answer my question.
When you asked me that question, you are assuming that I said they are the same. I never did.
You kind of did. You said both are not sin. That's what you said. You said both are not sin, right? And we're trying to dig deeper here. But leave the pain alone. Just answer my question. Just please answer my question.
From an Islamic point of view, okay, you keep missing the point. Yes, I was talking my original.
I don't care. Can you please answer my question?
I was speaking with Lettuce about religion, and I keep saying that from an Islamic point of view, eating both, as long as it's halal, it's not sinful.
Please answer my question.
No, your question is ridiculous. I'm not gonna answer it. And that's
sorry,
like saying the same thing. You keep saying the same thing. I don't have to answer your question.
Hold on, Nexus.
You're not my teacher. You're not my teacher. You're not my teacher.
Nexus.
You're not my teacher.
Nexus, I muted you for a second. So I asked a very simple, not ridiculous question. Do you understand why vegans tell you that you should eat plants and do not kill animals? Do you just understand this now?
Why? You as a vegan, explain to me why.
Sure. So because animals are sentient and have the capacity to experience life, and plants are not. Yeah. But also, even if plants could experience life, it would still be... It would. Oh, Jesus Christ. You ask me a question, I'm answering it. Can I answer?
Maybe plants don't experience the life as we do or as animals do, but they experience life.
No, they don't.
When you say they don't
with
experience
what?
Life, that's scientifically
what do they experience life with? You need eyes to experience life. You need ears. You need the ability to touch. Yes.
Okay, that's wrong. When you breathe, that's experiencing life.
Sorry, can you provide evidence? Plants don't breathe. Plants don't have a nose. Plants don't breathe.
No, oh my God! Don't you know that plants take oxygen and they release?
Yeah, that's not breathing. That's just like a metaphor.
That's their way of breathing.
No, there is no nose in a plant.
Breathing in,
breathing. To breathe. Oh my
Jesus.
God!
Can you please answer my question though? Do you understand or not? Why vegans tell you to eat plants and don't not kill animals? Do you understand it now?
I asked ChatGPT, yes, plants do breathe, but not in the same way that humans or
Thank
animals
you.
do.
So it's a
yes,
metaphor.
No,
it's a metaphor, man. They don't have a nose.
How is this a metaphor?
Because they don't have a nose. In order to breathe, you need a nose.
Lungs.
What?
You need lungs.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily need the nose to breathe. When you take oxygen and you relieve the carbon, you are.
Okay.
That's a form of
You know
breathing.
what? Nexus, ask ChatGPT the next question, right? Well, since plants can breathe, but not in the same way as animals, does that mean that that plants experience life? They're conscious. Ask if plants are conscious.
No, there's a difference. Yeah,
Please
they don't
ask.
experience consciousness, of course.
Please
No,
ask.
no, they don't
Please
experience-
ask ChatGPT if plants are conscious now.
No, they're not conscious. I never said they're conscious.
Awesome.
They have consciousness.
So
They
that's
experience life, but
Nexus.
Oh my God, you're not
Nexus.
letting me finish.
Nexus.
Please,
But
please let me
please,
finish.
you're gonna veer into bullshit. All I'm saying is this is what vegans say. Animals are conscious and plants are not. Therefore, you should eat plants and leave animals alone because animals are
Okay.
conscious and plants are not. That's it.
Okay. Can I say one thing without being interrupted?
No, I just want you to understand what we're talking about, and please acknowledge that you understand it now.
Can I say one thing? No, you don't control the way I speak. Can I say one thing without being interrupted?
Maybe.
Okay, maybe. Okay. So here's the thing. I never brought up consciousness in this discussion.
We did.
You said
It's our
you said- no, you
point.
did. I didn't. You did. I didn't. You said that they don't experience life. All I said is yes, they do experience life. They don't experience life as the way we do, but they do experience life. That's all I said.
Provide evidence, Jesus. Provide evidence.
They
Are
are
you saying they don't
alive.
experience life?
They are alive, but there is no subject to experience anything.
Nexus, listen, there are millions and millions of bacteria in your stomach right now, dying and fighting each other. They're alive, but they are not sentient. They do not have any awareness of anything, nor do plants.
Oh, I asked Chad
You for really want to? Oh.
is life. Biologically speaking, yes, plants are alive. They grow, reproduce, respond to their environment. For example, turning towards sunlight or closing leaves when touched.
Yeah, we know this.
Yeah, Nexus, what did we ask you to check? We asked you to check if they experience life. Can you check that? Instead of like strawmanning.
They don't experience.
There you go. They
Which
don't
is wrong.
experience life. See you later.
Oh,
Go suck my dick. See, for real, for real.
Fuck.
Yeah, she didn't have the ability to respond because I quoted ChatGPT. I gave her scientific facts.
Wait,
so
did
she said, "Suck my
ChatGPT
dick,"
say
or
that
whatever.
plants experience life? It didn't, right? It
Sorry?
said the plants
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
experience life, right?
Please, you're not even listening. I asked him this exact question. Does plants experience life? He said, biologically speaking, yes, plants are alive.
Alive.
They grow,
A different
reproduce.
thing. Biologically speaking, we 100% agree plants are alive, but that's not the question. There's a word there, experiencing life.
Yeah.
They are not experiencing anything.
Well, ChatGPT doesn't agree with you.
One
It
second.
does.
So if oh my gosh, if a person is in a coma, right? Do they experience life?
In a coma, probably
Yeah.
not.
No.
I'm not very
Yeah,
sure about
but,
that, but probably not.
Yeah, but we can be confident that they are alive, right?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. And I think Yeah, so there's a difference between being alive and experiencing being alive, right? And we are denying the last point, that plants can't experience being alive because they're not conscious or sentient.
Okay, I hope if everyone was like you, like respectful, no interrupting, just speaking quietly, because it seems to me they're only shouting.
There you
But
go.
here's what I would say. I asked ChatGPT, does plants experience life? He said yes. When you say
No,
yes
it
to that
said
question,
they said they're alive. It
Okay,
said they're alive.
Can I just read out? Can I just read out to you, Nexus? I've just asked ChatGPT this question. I know plants are alive, but do plants experience being alive?
Yeah.
And it's answered. Plants are alive in a biological sense. They grow, reproduce, respond to stimuli, metabolize, blah, 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 blah. Experiencing life requires consciousness or subjective awareness, the ability to feel, to have perceptions, to register states like pleasure, pain, desire. Plants do not have a nervous system, brains, or the kind of centralized processing structures necessary for subjective experience. Do you want me to carry on?
no, you don't have to. I get your point.
Right, so you're wrong.
No, they are alive.
We're not denying
Fucking
they're
nowhere.
alive.
Yeah, but this was never.
Okay, I will take it back. Listen.
Nexus, this was not even your point. Hold on, wait. Because wait, just 1 second. Because your statement was this, right? You said plants feel less pain than animals. This was your original position.
No.
You have to defend this position. Yes, it was.
Well, no.
said
I don't think they ever
pain.
said. I don't think Nexus ever said that they feel like less. That was my question. That said, well, not less, but different. And then the different wasn't explained, right? So now ChatGPT, and then you said, well, yeah, the experience, right? After I said, well, the difference between animal and plant is that animals are sentient. That means they experience life, and plants don't. You said, yeah, plants experience life, and now ChatGPT, your tool, told you that no, plants don't experience life. So can you please say
alive.
I was wrong and then move on?
Guys, here's the thing. I never said they are the
Can
same. I
you
never
say
said-
that you were wrong about saying that plants experience
Like,
life?
This is the problem. This is the whole problem. You are interrupting. Whenever I speak, you interrupt. Why the others are not? Why you're the only one
Because
who's
you're going
interrupting?
to babble. I know that.
for
I can
God's sake.
sense it
I
with my eyes and
didn't
ears.
interrupt you. I didn't interrupt you. Please let me finish. All I'm saying is, I keep repeating over and over again, I never said they are the same. In fact, he asked me a question, is it the same if they're both drowning? I said I would save the dog. They're not even the same. I don't know why you guys keep going in circles. I don't want to discuss this anymore. They are not the same. I made it clear from the start.
But can we, because I thought maybe the other one would carry on with this hypothetical that I gave you earlier about why did you choose not to kill painlessly the animal to get fire? Why? Why would you use the wood and not the animal?
I would keep it for other purposes. Maybe I would eat it later. I think it's ridiculous to kill an animal when you to burn it like when you have wood in front of you. Like that's the purpose of wood in the first place.
No, okay. Yeah, so no, hold on. So once you have made the decision, you can't use any of them in the future anymore. That's my question, basically.
Your question?
Yeah,
I can't
so
use.
Yeah.
I would say I would still choose the wood because it is made for that purpose.
Okay.
It's brain rot.
Yep, and it's different from an animal who's made for the purpose of being eaten, whether by me or whether by other animals.
Wait, dude, you eat dogs? Holy shit.
No, not dogs.
Wait, a dog is an
animals.
animal. Animals are made for food, you just said.
Okay, wait. Okay, so you're actually quite
all
next. You actually, I have to tell you,
to
you're
throw a
actually
bomb
quite
in.
intelligent. So I have to actually change my hypothetical. So let's say you have a broccoli
or an animal, and you can make fire with both of them or one of them, which one would you use?
I don't think I can make fire with Please, let's stop going with these hypotheticals, guys. Let's have a real discussion.
I'm just asking you, please answer. Like,
So annoying.
Suppose you can't choose
stand
one.
it.
I mean,
No, I'm not answer that. I'm not gonna answer that question. Like it's a very weird question. You're trying
Can't do it, can't do
prove
it.
your
I'm
point
gonna.
by going with
I
like
can't
crazy
survive it.
hypotheticals. You
Hey, do
don't
you wanna-
necessarily.
Can I
You
ask
don't
a
need
question? Let's
Yes.
let's not do a crazy hypothetical then. Earlier you said you would save the dog and not the carrot, right?
Yeah.
So
I just.
Yeah. So let me just say, you have two choices in front of you. You can either kill animals or kill plants to eat.
Mhm.
Which one sounds better?
It depends.
Well, why are you answering this differently than the drowning case?
If I'm hungry and like I wanna eat some meat, I would probably go with the animal.
People are just illogical. This person is just illogical as fuck.
Do you understand where I'm going at here?
No,
Not
he
really,
doesn't.
but I understand the question, and I think I answered it already. Like, if I have both in front of me, I'm very hungry, and I'd like to eat some meat, then I would go with the animal.
So you have two choices, either animal or plant. And you would save the animal when they're drowning, but you wouldn't save them when you're eating. Why is that?
I just told you because, first of all, I think eating animals is definitely healthier than eating plants.
Oh,
Maybe you guys would disagree
definitely.
with me, but that's my own belief. That's one thing. The second thing, I also think that eating animals is way like the taste. You know, it's much. It's better. Like,
wait, if you believe
when it
something,
comes to
that
the
means
taste.
it's true, Naxus? Like, if you believe that eating animal foods is healthier than eating just plant foods, then it must be true, or?
No, I never said it must be
So-
true, but probably it is. Yeah.
So this requires
It
like
is-
empirical evidence, right? So like evidence from
It does,
science. So if I
Yep,
showed
it
you that
does.
scientifically it's like actually leaning towards plant foods is more healthy, are you gonna like at least go plant-based?
I have recently read an article that that says that the vegan diet lacks a lot of components and it's
Like
not
what?
healthy. You can
Like what?
like what?
Yeah. You just
I'm not a
recently read
scientist,
an
but-
article, so you probably remember at least some of the components.
No, I'm not a scientist. I don't remember. Please,
Oh, okay.
take it like
Nexus,
you don't have to. Okay,
Nexus,
yeah.
do you know that many of the top
They just like
medal-winning
gibberish.
Olympian athletes are fully
just all
vegan,
gibberish.
including gold medalists, bronze and silver
don't
medalists.
have patience
are
of a
fully
saint,
vegan,
Jason.
fully plant-based. These are the fittest, healthiest it is possible to be as a human being. They're the top of the tree in terms of being healthy and fit. The top, the very top. These people are plant-based.
Yeah, I'm not. Look, that's good for them. I'm not saying they're not, but all I'm saying, okay, if you look, in fact, you would find that they're probably less than
Oh, it's just a
5%.
little bit.
Most of the professional athletes are meat eaters.
Yeah, but
That's one thing. The second thing, that's good for them.
Before you go into second thing, let's stick with the first thing. It is a known fact that most people are not vegan. So most people obviously will be in the Olympics.
Adam.
What makes you
That's
think the
true.
Olympics will be
Adam,
only
come
made
on.
of vegans? It's a cross
Just
section.
use
of
your
human beings,
intellect
and
in
most
better
human beings are
ways.
not vegan. But this is a cross section, and if you look at the number of plant-based dieters in the Olympics, proportionally.
Adam, seriously, you supposedly have a superior human intellect. Use it.
Fit for you,
Ask
and
me
super
questions.
suitable for you.
Make claims, God forbid.
I wouldn't say that. Maybe you think that way because you're a vegan, but I would disagree. Look,
No, I'm not thinking that way. I'm looking at actual facts. It's not about thought. It's not about opinion. It's actual facts.
you said something there. You said that there are less vegans because, like in general, vegans in society are the minority, which is logical, and I completely agree with you. I'm not disagreeing with you on that point. But I have read an article. You guys probably have read an article that says eating meat or a vegan diet is healthier. I have read an article that says eating meat is healthier.
Yeah, so the problem is, though, even if we address this point, right, the problem is we have still other sticking points which we haven't even like fully resolved, honestly.
Yeah.
So just to summarize, right, it's the God claim is still on the table, and the pain thing apparently still on the table. So I'm not even
leave the pain thing.
Hold on, no. Like when we open up like another rabbit hole now with the empirical discussion, I mean, I'm not even sure like whether we will actually progress, really.
Okay.
Because
Yeah. Okay.
I think the biggest fortress here is actually the God claim in my feelings.
Really?
And if we don't challenge that, we can't even. I mean,
it's the lack of logic.
Try. I think there are many activists here, but
that's
I don't
right. And when it comes to the pain claim, I think I made it clear. I said they're not the same. We've already done with that. But the thing is, look, you can be a vegan. You might think it's good for you. It's fine. You believe in a specific way of life. You have your own beliefs. You follow your own routine. It's completely fine. I have no problem with that.
Really?
In fact, I think a lot of vegans are great, but my problem with some vegans is that they try to force their beliefs on you. That's the only issue I have
sweetie,
with them. And they're trying to make you feel as if
I should tell them I'm gay and see how they force their beliefs on me.
Your book also forces beliefs on you, my friend. Your book also forces your beliefs on you. So what are you talking about?
What?
Literally, your book, it's about commandments, my friend. It's about commandments. It's about force.
My friend, I'm not talking about my book. I never I didn't mention it. All I'm saying is I do agree with a lot of vegans. I think it's fine to have your way of life. I think it's fine to see things differently. But I disagree with them when they would be shouting at people and saying they are evil or they are bad. And that's where I disagree with them.
Nexus, can I just try and assure you, because I think you've got the wrong end of the stick. No vegan here is trying to force you to take on their beliefs in any way, shape or form. Yeah. All we are trying to do is to help you, to facilitate you, to look at your own morals and your own values. And I take you back to the dog and the carrot,
his values are rotten.
Save the dog. These morals are morals which tell you that it's wrong to needlessly allow or cause suffering of animals when it's needless, when there's no need for it. And we're trying to facilitate you to bring your actions into alignment with those morals. We're not trying to force you. We're just trying to show you that if you are a decent, caring human being and you care about needless suffering and pain, then you will bring your actions in alignment with those morals. That's what we're trying to do.
No, I think you've been very respectful. I think Lutus...
think tank. So there is no issue. There is just a discussion about whether or not we should be exploiting and slaughtering animals for unnecessary things. That's all.
Anyway, I'm not talking about you. I'm saying vegan people in general.
And this person is being illogical.
Respectful. Probably most of them. But some of them are a bit extreme. They try to force their beliefs on you. They try to tell you you're evil just because you...
you feel forced. Oh, sweetie.
You disagree with them, or you do your stuff in a certain way, or you eat meat, you're evil. Some of them say you're bad, or that's... And it's an undisputable fact that some of them are...
We should be eating animals, Miguel. We should be eating animals. or should on what modality? So should usually means it's morally good to eat animals. So it's more moral to eat animals than it is to eat plants. Is that the claim? Yes or no?
You have your way of life. You have certain beliefs,
The same
and
crying.
you stick
That's
with
why
them.
people
That's
are
completely
stopping
fine
them
for me.
from having a conversation.
And I'm not saying you.
That's why I would
like
cut
the
him off
ones
already.
speaking with me right now are like trying to force me or anything. No, in fact, most of you have been respectful.
Bombastic, I'm sick of you. Get the fuck out.
Hey, Nexus, I have a quick question. Have you ever been forced by a vegan
Get
to
the
be
fuck
vegan?
out. I'm sick of you.
Yes, some of them called me I'm evil, which is
What did,
problematic.
how did they how does saying a word, how is that forcing? By like hearing a word.
By the way, I didn't only say forcing. I said like forcing people, shouting at people, calling them evil. All of these
Well,
things.
no. I asked you a specific question. Have you been forced by a vegan? You.
You'd be vegan,
Like me
right?
personally, no. But I have been called
Oh.
evil because I disagree with them. I have been called a lot of names.
Can you give an example of how a vegan has forced someone to be vegan?
We've evolved to eat animals, although not in the conventional way. I'm really, really unsure what you're talking about, Miguel, but I'm interested. So if you want to come in and have a conversation, like a voice conversation with me, there is a link on top. I would appreciate if you actually came in and tell me in the chat if you're going to do it.
Forcing thing.
It's not
Yeah, what
forcing.
is-
No, it's not forcing. When
Yeah,
you call
there you
someone
go.
evil,
It's
Give me an
not
example.
forcing.
Yeah. Just
Then
give me an
shut the fuck
example of
up.
how a vegan has forced someone to be vegan.
Yeah.
Give me an example.
they are trying to preach to them violently. When you say to someone, "You are bad," and you are
Wait.
evil,
Wait.
you
Preaching
are
is
trying-
forcing?
Wait. Let me finish. You are trying to change their opinion, and you're not necessarily using logic and reason. You are insulting them. You are saying they're bad. You are.
These
I'm just
dude
asking a question, bro. I'm asking a
fucking
question. How has a vegan
projecting.
forced anyone to be vegan? Just
I just
answer
told
me.
you. When you shout at
By
someone
talking?
in the sake of at someone in the sake
not
of trying to
forcing.
change his mind, that's forcing for
How
me.
is that forcing?
No, that's not forcing, my friend. So VPN was just like trying to hold you accountable, right?
Okay.
And maybe sometimes you
It's
each
again,
other. I
it's
have to
me.
say, of
I always
course, yeah.
hurt
Sometimes
feelings.
it gets heated, and
It's
both
fine
of you
out with
interrupt.
people.
But
I always
hold
hurt
on.
feelings.
So maybe there was
Nexus,
some.
you just haven't answered the question yet. How has a vegan forced
And that's
anyone
why I
to be
shouted
vegan?
at them,
Just
because they
answer the
haven't
question.
answered questions.
Is it okay to call someone evil because they just have a different
They
perspective?
did not.
Yeah, it's freedom of
They did
speech,
not.
bro. You can say whatever you want.
And they did not
Oh,
call
so
you evil.
I did not call you evil. Come on,
Yeah.
guy.
This
Don't
is a
call you
lie.
evil either.
I
Also,
didn't
just
say-
answer the question. It just either concede that vegans don't force people, or answer the question. How does a vegan force someone to be vegan?
Oh,
Okay.
funny.
Can I explain without being interrupted?
Yeah, sure.
If you don't say how
Oh,
they
Jesus,
force
it's
them,
gonna be for
you're
an hour
probably
now.
just gonna get muted.
Yeah. So when I say forcing them, I do not necessarily mean physically, like they're tying them up and they're putting a spoon in their mouths and saying, "Oh, don't eat meat. You're just gonna eat
So the mean
plants from now
forcing
on." No.
metaphorically,
When you shout
meaning
at
it's
someone
not
in the
forcing.
sake of converting his opinion or converting him, or when you try to call them names in the sake of persuading them or changing their opinion, that's for me forcing. As I said, it's not necessarily physical forcing, but it can be a form of forcing. And we're seeing all of these crazy protesters. By the way, I'm not saying all vegans, like a lot of them are good, a lot of them are respectful, but come on, guys, we all seeing these crazy protesters. They're entering restaurants and they're shouting, and you're doing this and you're doing that and you're evil.
But this has nothing to do with the current conversation, my friend. I mean, please be a bit charitable, because there are always people in every group who do these things. You should look at the arguments. So again, I would invite you to tell me where
I mean, even conversion wouldn't apply here.
you accuse
No,
them
please,
of.
please.
What,
Please,
no, please, not Nexus. No, I don't appreciate this. You cannot demand others to keep you talking while you
So there really is no such thing as vegan, because almost all veggies and fruits are fertilized with shrimp meal and other some. So this is just like enjoy that information. You saw it in a TikTok, so like don't act like we didn't see the same TikTok. or in a whatever Instagram reel or something. So this is just a misunderstanding of what veganism is, Pufus. Pufus is veganism is ending the exploitation and slaughter of animals. Animal product simpliciter isn't necessarily not vegan. Some animal products can be vegan. Other animal products are like tolerated for now because it's like out of necessity or lack of transparency. So what you call vegan, as in no animal products were ever included into your diet or way of life, that's not what veganism strives towards, both like definitionally, because some animal products are vegan or will be vegan when they are invented, and other also like it's just like how we live in a non-vegan world, and that's part of the definition of veganism, frankly. You do what you can, and it's your fault, actually, Pufus, that I'm not as moral as I would like to be, right? Because all of that stuff that you said, shrimp meal and manure and all that stuff, that exists because of you. In a vegan world, that stuff wouldn't even exist. That shit literally wouldn't even exist. So blame yourself that I'm not as vegan or whatever by your definition as I should be.
Start shouting at me and saying I'm evil. Would you condemn him?
Yeah, that's a really unreasonable thing to do. But I've never, in the many years that I've been involved in veganism, I've never once seen anything like that happen. What I've seen happen is a vegan very politely ask a non-vegan questions, and the non-vegan has reacted with defense. And as soon as they become defensive, the vegan has to then start becoming defensive or just stop the conversation and go away. But it's always the person who is not vegan who starts with the abuse and starts with the defensiveness.
Not good people.
Always.
To be fair.
I would not necessarily agree with you, because
like
I'm seeing all of these protests and I see a lot of angry people. But the thing is, if you truly believe that in order to convince someone, all you have to do is be logical, be reasonable.
Why does this matter?
You don't have to shout. You don't have, because a lot of
talking about animals. Why does this matter?
That's the fact. A lot of vegans are. Let me just finish this.
You're talking bullshit though. Why would you let you finish?
You acknowledge the fact that it's wrong to just shout at people and call them names, then I would be in your side. Then we have I have no problem with you. You can be a vegan, you can preach veganism as long as it's respectful, and we're not disagreeing on you. It's fine.
We're disagreeing on some. I hear you. I hear what you're saying, but we're disagreeing fundamentally on some things. I am not preaching. I am not preaching at all. I am trying to help people to see something in themselves which is really good, and make it align with their actions, which are not good. That's all I'm doing.
Good.
Can we move on?
Yeah, can we talk about fucking animals? And don't mean fucking animals, but can we talk about animals now?
Yeah, sure. Nexus, sure. I have a quick question. If you saw a human eating and they were eating a slaughtered human, would you think they were evil?
Well, just 1 second. I'll get the charger and come back, guys.
Oh, yeah, sure. Never see you again.
Sure.
Don't hurry.
Never to be seen again.
Isn't that jungle? I mean, I'd rather be shouted at than have my throat cut. It's not a difficult job.
Yeah, I just want to make a simple answer. I guess shouting equals forcing now, but I guess that's his own definition.
I always hurt people's feelings, though, to be fair.
Hurting feelings equals forcing
as
well.
Yeah, if there wasn't so much wild exaggeration, I think I'd find the conversation quite a bit easier. But there's so much exaggeration that it's...
I mean, there's too much storytelling and not enough answering questions. That's my
Yeah.
problem with it.
Yep.
Nexus, are you there?
I told you, Joe, never to be seen.
His little ocean profile picture's still there.
Yeah, he says he's getting his charger.
Right.
He's just taking a very deep breath,
Oh shit.
ready to spiel out the next.
I just
answer.
wanted to get like one concession, just one. Like, okay, maybe they're not forcing, but no, he just like made up his own definition. It's kind of annoying.
Well, do we want to have a conversation with somebody else, or are we going to wait?
I think we should carry on with other people. Does anybody else want to talk?
I mean, to be fair, Wade, when put one against another, the plant alternatives to animal products are more health promoting than the animal products themselves. So the processed food label, it's a bit complex. Some of the processed foods are detrimental to health. Other processed foods are neutral or even beneficial to health. So we shouldn't look at, is it processed? We should look at the health outcomes, and we have health outcomes for almost all foods that we have on the market today.
Oh, look, he left.
Yeah.
Man, I was just gonna do NTT as well, and he just ran away.
Oh shit, they actually left. They actually left. I knew it, holy fuck.
Because I think he would say that killing humans would be evil. I was just gonna ask for the trait differential, but he ran away. Oh well.
He'd have made up some bullshit.
Yeah, in the image of God or something.
I'm
Or
a
what do
victim in
Muslims
the image
say?
of God.
Sorry, go on, Tom.
I'm a victim in the image of God.
Yeah. I mean, in the image of God is Christian claim in it. What's the Muslim claim that is like comparative to that?
I don't think they have one, do they?
I do have something. Must be. There is a human superiority in Islam as well.
It's very simple. It's called the Prophet Though.
Yeah. It's allowed, therefore we ought, is the usual argument.
There's bacon though, and there's Prophet Though.
I mean, I would agree that some of the animal products without the sentient animal involved would be vegan. Unfortunately, it would be, in most cases, the lab-grown meats, the cultivated meats are still going to be coming from some animal exploitation, at least in the beginning, but it should sure be like a huge improvement in the world, for sure. Is Sandy muted from our end, or are they server muted?
They were hot mic and somebody muted them.
Oh, okay. Cami, you wanna have a conversation with us, Cami? I promise I'm not gonna force anything on you. Unless...
Also, Sandy, I have unmuted you if you want to have a conversation.
We force vegan sausages in all their mouth.
Oh man, I would go for a vegan sausage. Not gonna lie.
Oh, me too. Yeah, I'm hungry right now.
I can
Vegan
get
I'm gonna
some
go,
sweet.
guys. Thanks for the combo.
Take care, Joe.
See you, Joe.
Take care, man.
I'm going to force my children into the car now. So see you guys later.
Jesus Christ. Who's the person on the bottom with the icon with the mustache? You want to have a conversation with us? Not vegan. So... Anybody else? Alright. I guess nobody wants to have a conversation. Alright, so I do have an article that I would like to show my chat, and maybe our chat can explode again. It happened and then it went away, unfortunately. Many people live never thinking outside the man-made bubble. It's crazy the womb of humanity goes largely ignored. Not sure what you mean there. Oh shit. Did the person leave? Oh, I would have liked talking to them, not gonna lie. That was seemed like an interesting conversation. Where am I pinged? Oh, who cares? Activism. Yes or no, they didn't come in. That's unfortunate. I wanted to have a conversation. I love having a conversation about evolution. Anyways. Oh, there's literally nothing going. Everybody's quiet. Holy fuck. I'm not even deafened there. It's just fucking quiet. But the article that I wanted to show you guys.
Oh, there you go. Maybe we can now carry on the conversation.
Yeah, I had to charge my phone like for some time. The battery was dead.
Sure. Maybe someone else can carry on. VPM. Dave.
Yeah, sure. So I would like to actually continue the conversation that Joe asked you. Joe asked you a question. If you were, if you saw a human eating the meat from another human that was killed for it, would you call that human evil?
Yeah, that would be disgusting.
Yeah, so you would call somebody evil if you thought that somebody is doing something immoral.
I mean, it depends. If he's like he has no food and he's gonna die from hunger, and
he has plant foods. No, he has plant foods.
Okay,
he has plant foods.
Then in that case, if you are eating someone, another human being, an innocent life, and necessarily that would be very evil. That would be completely wrong, in my opinion.
So would that apply to animals, though, right? So, like, if you eat, if you find out, hold on, if you find out that you're eating animals unnecessarily, would that make you evil? Or
no, it wouldn't.
Would you say that's immoral?
No, I wouldn't.
Okay. So what's the morally relevant difference between a human and an animal that makes it okay to exploit and slaughter an animal for unnecessary stuff, but when applied to a human, but if applied to a human, would also make a human be okay to kill a human for unnecessary stuff? What's the trait difference there?
I would say exploiting animal is wrong, and I do agree with veganism that making animals suffer and exploiting them for no reason is wrong. That's one thing we agree on. Now, killing them to use them, to eat them.
Sorry, can you ever answer my question? Because you're not answering my question. Can you repeat my question first, though?
I'm getting, like, that's your problem. You're not letting me finish. I'm getting to your question. Your question was, why do you think it's not the same? And my response would be, it's human animals and human life and animal life are completely different.
In what way?
Are not the same. And let me ask you this.
No. First, answer my question. Answer my question. You haven't answered my question, so you're not gonna ask me a question, right? The question was, what traits do animals possess that or that humans lack that make it or that animals lack that make it okay to exploit and slaughter animals for unnecessary stuff, but when applied to humans, all of a sudden it's really wrong? What traits do either of those beings have? You haven't answered that.
It's in nature. You don't see. I think this question. I'm not trying to say but I think it's wrong. The way you framed it is completely wrong. Look, if you see a lion, you see lions all the time eating other animals like gazelle or any other animals, but they don't eat themselves.
Oh my God, are you sure? Because pretty sure lions eat the cubs of competing lions. Pretty sure lions eat each other.
Can you type the name in the chat? I'll look this up. Type the name.
The problem is you've avoided VPM's question again. You didn't answer her question.
No, I tried to answer her with nature.
By the way, it's they, them.
She's saying,
So my
saying
pronouns,
they.
by the way, my pronouns are they, them, so it's not she, it's they.
Okay, they. Okay. I don't know if I would be able to like say they every time. I think I
Well,
would.
please try,
anyway.
because it would hurt my feelings, and you would be forcing your language on my body.
Okay, here's the thing. I will say she, but I mean they.
No.
because it's gonna
You
be so
please say they.
confusing.
Please say they instead. Make the effort. Yeah. Because otherwise you would be forcing your beliefs on me. And that would be wrong according to you. Yeah.
Okay, I would say I would like to say VPM, okay?
No,
That's
please
fine,
say
right?
they.
No, you don't control the way I speak. I would say VPM. I'm
Well, then
completely
I'm
fine
gonna
with
call
saying
you
it.
she. I'm gonna say she. Next is she. I'm just gonna call
It's
you
fine.
she.
You can call me the way
Oh,
you
cool.
want. Okay.
Awesome. I'm gonna
My
call you she
point-
then.
So please, I'm
Could
trying
you-
to answer them.
Yeah, could you just answer their question, please?
Yeah. So she asked me a question, and I tried.
They asked you a question. They asked you a question.
Okay, VPM asked me a question, and I tried to answer her with an analogy from nature. Now, she is apparently saying some types of lions do eat each other.
All
and
lions
I'm
eat each other.
It's,
So
No,
all of a
yes,
sudden
no,
nature
no,
is not on
from
your
the
side,
from-
right? Nature is not on your
from-
side, on the side of your... Yeah.
I have never seen a lion eating another lion. Maybe they're fighting to death. Yes,
Wait.
human also do fight to death.
When was the last
but
time
I
you saw...
never-
Wait, when was the last time you saw a lion?
Are you saying Are you saying I have to see it in front of my eyes? I can
No,
watch the
I'm saying the
commentary,
opposite. I'm saying the opposite. Just because you haven't seen it doesn't
Okay,
mean that
look,
it
look,
doesn't
look,
happen, right?
Look. You keep.
Can you answer my
keep
question,
asking
though?
me
I would
ridiculous
really
questions.
appreciate.
No, I'm not gonna answer your question. Here's
Nexus,
my answer.
she's not answering my question. She's not answering my question. So I think we should move
Okay.
on to somebody
Sure.
who can.
Sure.
Nexus, you're just being dishonest at this point. You're asked questions and you just go off on a completely different tangent.
Look, she's like, I just want my chat to know, Naxos, she's such a dishonest person at this point that she's not answering my question and she's making shit up as she goes. So it's really fucking annoying. So we should move on.
I think if you are trying to equate a human life to an animal life, I think you are mentally ill. Let's be honest.
Okay, thank you.
Understand the question, Nexus. We're asking for the trait differences that justifies killing one but not the other.
I think here would be my response. I think we have this instinct. I think we have it in our nature.
Relevant answer to the question yet again.
I think we know, and we know, like we have in our instinct, we know that killing another human being is wrong. Whatever, we know that killing another animal is not wrong.
Look,
That's what would
at
be my
this
answer.
point, I think it's not Nexus. It's not answering our questions, so it should go out of this server at this point, or out of this channel. It's not answering a question, so why should we continue listening to its ramblings?
Yeah, so one more chance. The answer to the question begins with the relevant trait that makes the difference is, and then you carry on. So we're asking you, what is the relevant trait that makes it okay to need...
Miguel, so this is not, the answer is, I don't know. I'm probably going to save the pedestrian because I'm probably like more invested in human life. But this is not the dichotomy in this conversation. The dichotomy is, can you ride over neither? And you can.
You guys kept asking me questions. I'm not here to be asked. You're not you're not talking to a criminal like you're trying to question him why he did that. Why? No, this is a discussion, and you don't control how I respond.
Look,
That's
she's
the
not
first thing.
answering the question. She's not answering the question. Why are we continuing to waste our time on her?
Yeah, I agree.
It's done. It's done. Thank you, Nexus. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Miguel, really, let's go have a conversation with me, right? you can come into my server and we can have a conversation. I would really want to, because you have interesting questions.
Might be trying to talk, but we're not hearing you. You're right in the background somewhere, miles away.
I am not trying to talk.
Oh, right. I saw your green light come on and heard this distant thing. But okay.
Does anybody else want to talk?
Mohammed, welcome to the channel. How are you?
100%. Dishonest. I do hate.
I'm afraid I couldn't even begin to pronounce the name of the person with the light pink background in the bottom corner. But you're welcome here. Mic up and say hello, whatever your name is.
Um, 9,999,999. Would you like to talk to us?
We've had chats before in here. I don't think it's a good idea for me to discuss things with you guys.
All right.
Just here to spectate.
Yeah, sure. Just be in the background. That's fine.
Same for me. I just love the beef, you know. Just love to listen to people who are playing or drawing.
Okay, I heard that, but it was right in the background. Can you come nearer to your microphone and say again?
I'm sorry. I was just saying that I love to listen to people while playing video games. So that's how.
Okay, fair enough.
Right. While they're figuring that shit out, let's go through this thing. So this is actually like a really fucked up article, but I don't know, something is happening in the beef industry, and I'm like obsessively trying to collect everything that comes in there. So I guess we can just listen to it. It's gonna just read out the same, maybe, or maybe let's first listen and see if new information comes. Come on, play.
Today and for the next several weeks in NPR's.
Up. Let's just play that. Come on. I don't know why it's not working. Let's just read it then. I've listened to it before, so I'm not sure what's happening. Let's give it another try. No, it's just not working. So, why beef prices are higher than ever? The shoppers are finally resisting. So people are finally giving up beef specifically. That doesn't mean that they're giving up meat, unfortunately. So the item is ground beef. How has the price changed since before the pandemic? So up 51% since February 2020. Up 50%, more than 50% since in 5 years, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. I think it's the US, yeah. Why has the price gone up? It's the law of supply and demand. Just the chain of inputs and outputs in the beef industry is kind of crazy. That's the point. And every single thing that goes into the industry really fucks up the production prediction. That's what happens. So America's beef cattle herd is the smallest in 75 years, in part because of drought, self-caused issue. But Americans' love of hamburgers and steaks has kept demand strong until recently. So in July, the US Department of Agriculture continued to record a shrinking number of US cattle and calves. This is not for a good reason. We're going to read up in a second, but the herds are basically being liquidated. That means the animals are sent to slaughter, and the heifers, the mothers, are also being sent to slaughter just because it's not justified to keep them alive anymore, because Farmers don't want to bring new cattle into the farm, right? So forecasting that beef production would decline 4% over this year and another 2% over 2026. That's very little. Meanwhile, foreign imports are also down. Brazilian beef faces a 76% tariff. Fears about Trump really fucked the farmers, really fucked them. Fears about the screwworm parasite have led the USDA to block livestock from crossing from Mexico to the US to safeguard the nation's food supply. So it's like a triple whammy. So it's too expensive to keep animals, to slaughter. Trump put up tariffs, so the imports have slowed down. And some of the imports are denied because that the animals are diseased, because there are like pandemics going on in the animal kingdom, or not in the animal kingdom, in the animal farming in other countries, like Mexico. There are other places as well, in Kenya or in Africa, I guess. There is some kind of a pandemic in cows that's going on, which is crazy. That we still continue creating this food, right? It's so crazy. Like, the pandemics are insane. So ranching in America can be topsy-turvy. I don't know what that means. Break-even or money-losing business, but not right now. We've kind of hit this perfect storm, says Brady Blackett, a third-generation Angus cattle producer in Utah. Utah is one of the driest places in the US, and yet it's one of the top beef producers, which is kind of crazy. There is a healthy competition for the cattle, and there is not enough of them to fulfill the demand, and so it has driven prices to historic highs. Yeah, there you go. It's shooting up. So this is brief. Yeah. Whatever. We just said that. It's a sharp turnaround. Brackett remembers a tough drought. Again, self-made. I'll talk to you in a second, a person who's not a boy in Afghanistan. Or should I address you now? Let's address you now and put this aside. What do you say to people like people who are in Afghanistan who do not have too much food to eat, and they are dependent on the cows and other animals to live? I would say they are wasting calories by feeding animals crops instead of growing crops that are actually fit for human consumption and eating them directly. I would say that Africa right now, specifically I think Somalia, are going through a similar thing, and they're stopping breeding animals into existence because they literally can't afford to feed them. I would say that people in Afghanistan should go plant-based, at the least. So what do you think about the people who are dependent on cows and other animals? That they assume that they need those products, and that is incorrect, and they would actually increase their survivability by eating plants directly, again. I have food, but I know a lot of the people who do not have access to food. Well, first of all, you are not in that situation, and therefore you have the same privilege that I do. You have the privilege to consider animals morally and do not close your eyes to those moral questions, right? If somebody is actually literally starving, right, one can be excused to say, well, right now it's not on the top priority to be a moral human being, because if somebody's starving, they're gonna steal, or they're gonna kill, they're gonna do a bunch of stuff to survive. Because us, as animals ourselves, one of our strongest drives, putting aside specific mental illnesses, is to survive. It's one of our strongest drives. That's why we eat 3 times a day. That's why all animals eat as much as possible, right? Especially when there's scarcity of food, they're just gonna eat. So you, my dear, not a boy you are from Afghanistan, but you have the same privilege that I do to consider animals in your purchases. Chickpeas are great, I'm just saying. They're cheaper as well. Many Indian people have been vegan even before modern times. No, not really. It's only a latest endeavor that there is like veganism in India. Indians are generally vegetarian. Historically, maybe there was like more of a veganism vibe, but they've been for generations exploiting cows and buffaloes. It's actually a growing trend for Indian people to start eating meat as well, and of course eggs. So no, not vegan. What else? Miguel. Agriculture is no longer as nutrient dense and valuable since we've bred them to our liking. I don't know what you mean by that, Miguel. That's why, really seriously, I'm asking you for the third time. Please answer my question. Are you willing to come and have a conversation with me? If no, that's fine. I just don't like to be ignored. But to answer your actual question, as I understand it, right? Like, where do we get nutrients and stuff? I think we should all start taking multi-supplements. It's the most efficient way to not become nutrient deficient, taking supplements. Right, let's continue with this conversation. So it's a sharp turnaround. Brackett remembers a tough drought a few years ago, caused in part by climate change, which is caused in part by the beef production, sweeping through many cattle states. He had to buy, well, this is just like, they're like carnivore dieters. They can't see the connection between the two things. So fucking weird. He had to buy pricey feed when his own alfalfa fields couldn't get enough irrigation. So this is the answer to you, a person from Afghanistan, right? This cattle farmer, right? He had fields of alfalfa. Alfalfa is, generally speaking, humans can eat it, we just don't. So huge fields of alfalfa that he couldn't water anymore, right? And so he had to downsize the number of animals that he raises. So generally speaking, if people in poor countries would grow food for humans, plant food for humans, instead of growing feed and then feeding that feed to animals, they would be better off. It just would be less of a waste of calories, is my point. He had to pay for someone to hold water for his cattle to drink, and when springs ran dry in the grazing pastures. So this is like absolutely insane. As it got harder to feed and otherwise maintain the herds, producers in the summer of 2022 slaughtered more beef cows than ever in the USDA record keeping. This is like when people tell me that farmers care about their animals, this is the thing that plays in my head, right? Cattle farmers talking like this exactly when they say, well, we can't feed them anymore. It would cost too much to feed and water those animals, give them basic welfare. So we send them to slaughter. It's all a monetary calculation and nothing else. They don't care about animals. They only care about them as a resource. And I hope everybody in my chat agrees that that's not caring for an animal. If you only care for your dog because they're cute and not because they're part of your family, you don't love your dog, you don't care about your dog. They were already reeling from losses during the pandemic, which disrupted meat packing plants, plus rising inflation and interest rates. Beef prices tumbling from too much available meat further discouraged ranchers from replenishing the herds. This is all about money, 100%. So this is the same representation, right? This is the exact presentation of it. How can you care about somebody while raising them to be slaughtered? Are you a farmer? Or are you just like, tumbled this sentence a little bit? Repopulation is still going very slowly for new reasons. Facing ever higher operation costs, ranchers are leery of investing in an expansion, right? This is where I think you mean, this is where vegans are wrong. Where? Be specific, please. Otherwise, this is kind of a weird conversation. And the record values that cattle can fetch, like this is entire article, right? Speaks about how cattle farmers send animals to slaughter because, literally because of a calculation of money. Are you going to tell me that that shows care for sentient animals? Plants and animals naturally decompose into the soil. Also, they poop, etc. We take all that material and would go into the ground, harvest it, eat it, and poop it down the pipes. Yeah, you can do that with just plants and get the same result while not killing billions of animals and the planet. We can do the same thing, but just eating plants, just harvesting plants and not slaughtering animals or exploiting animals. How do you think your clothes are made? The cotton shirt that I'm wearing, right? The cotton was grown in a field and then it was collected probably by workers who are not getting very well paid. And then it was made probably in a factory where the workers, again, are not very well paid. And then it was worn by somebody until there was a little hole right there. I don't know who wore it, right? And then that person put this t-shirt into the street, and that's where I got it. There, I know how my clothes are made and how they got to me. No, are you? Seriously, guy? Seriously, legend? Like, your communication skills are... And I'm not understanding what you're saying. So, I'm just going to start ignoring you unless you start making sense. Just write a little more words and think before you write. My point is the ground soil depletion, not meat or veg per se. But yeah, well, the depletion is because of monocropping, and monocropping is driven by the production of animals. So, again, we lead to the conclusion we should all be plant-based and vegan. What am I clueless about? And your means mine, right? Your, mine. You mean you are. So you apostrophe R-E. And the record values that cattle can fetch mean that it's often more profitable. See, they're talking about profit. Farmers don't give a shit about animals, just about profit, right? More profitable to sell young females called heifers for meat than to keep them for breeding. The decision who gets to live and die is monetary. It's just a matter of money. There is not a lot of incentive to rapidly rebuild the herds. By rebuild, I mean forcibly impregnate heifers. Us, along with ranchers across the United States, are selling those heifers that might otherwise be retained into the herd. And given that it takes years to raise the new cow, beef may remain in short supply for a long while. What are people doing about it? What they should be doing about it is stop exploiting and breeding animals, right? Restaurants and stores are raising prices, and news data suggests customers may be starting to think twice about their loyalty to beef. And we'll see in a minute what's actually happening. And the Block 16 sandwich shop in Omaha, Nebraska, 3/4 of customers come by to bite into that take on the classic, a hamburger with beef patty, lettuce, tomato, pickles. The burger costs almost $9. That's crazy, man. That was pre-pandemic, and now it's almost $12, all because of costly meat. $12 for a burger in America, where food is generally much, much cheaper than this? That's crazy. Anybody here in America who can tell me how much does it cost to go and eat a bean burger in a vegan restaurant? I would appreciate that information. Right. Sometimes I look at our menu and I'm like, oh my God, we're charging that much for a burger. But it's what they've got to do to stay in business, says Corona Paul Urban. You could just open a vegan restaurant, I'm not gonna lie. And it's affected us at home as well. I love a good steak, but I'm not paying $90 a pound. Can you imagine paying $19 for a meal at home that you still have to cook and like put some veggies on the side and stuff? Jesus Christ, Mom. That's like $20 in my college town. What? The bean burger, Miguel. Miguel, I would really appreciate if you answer my question. Why are people like this? You can say no. You can say, I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to talk with my voice. I don't want to have a conversation right now. There are all kinds of stuff you can say, Miguel. But I think you are an interesting person to talk to, and I would like to talk to you. So please tell me if you're willing to come and have a voice conversation with me, yes or no. No is a totally normal answer as well. So, you know, don't be scared to hurt my feelings or something, right? A fish doesn't take care of their children, that's fine. I don't understand why that justifies farming them for unnecessary food. Yes, it's delicious. Does deliciousness justify doing something to somebody? Because, I mean, I've heard humans are pretty delicious. Do you think eating human meat, killing humans for meat would be justified if they're delicious? I can live with $20 with the months in my country, of course, if I go totally vegetarian, because sometimes it become a little bit expensive in big cities like Kabul. Well, here's the thing. If you go vegan, that would be the cheapest in your area, because I bet hummus and chickpeas and falafel are incredibly cheap in Afghanistan. Maybe falafel doesn't exist there, but like, I bet Afghanistan, a place that generally, historically, have been pretty desolate, pretty war-stricken, I bet they know how to cook mean plant foods that are amazing and tasty, because that's the cheapest food around. That's the cheapest food around, mate. Dude, I don't even know what you're saying. Go fuck yourself. No, but that's extreme. So you wouldn't justify killing a human being just because their meat is tasty. Why are you justifying animals to be killed just because their meat is tasty? How is that a good justification to kill an animal, a sentient animal? We literally share the fact that we're both conscious with them. You called them sentient before, that's a big word. What's your basis for sentience? So it's not sentiency, it's sentience. So sentience just means have the capacity to be conscious. Sentience actually means oh, Chip, I can put that in the chat for you. Oh, it's open already. There you go. So sentience just means the capacity to be conscious, the ability to experience life around you. And animals who have a brain and a nervous system, so cow, pigs, chickens, fish, are all there. They have both. They can, through their other senses, experience the world around them. And in that way, animals and humans are the same. In other ways, we are very different, right? For instance, we can talk about morality. Animals can't necessarily, although I've seen it with my own eyes, how animals consider each other morally, right? But we have like a very heightened ability to talk about morality. Animals might not have that. But what we both do have is a huge drive to stay alive. And that comes from sentience, that comes from consciousness. And therefore exploiting and killing somebody who has the same drive as we do is morally wrong. Going vegan is definitely cheaper, and I want to be one, but with fish in my diet, so does that work? Well, why would you exploit fish though? I mean, what do you mean by does that work? Morally, fish are sentient. They have the ability, the capacity to experience life. So I think you should give up fish as well, right? Go vegan and give up fish as well. Just be vegan. And I don't think, by the way, that it should be because it's cheaper. It's just one of those things that people have anxiety about, so I'm addressing it. I think it should be because it's morally wrong to exploit and slaughter animals for unnecessary stuff. Let's see. Fairest thing would be we'd only what's produced in our countries, best for the environment and the world. Actually, that's Andre, that's incorrect. So the transporting of foods between countries is it's one of the least significant issues when it comes to the environment. But also, we are not talking about the environment here. We are talking about the morality of exploiting and slaughtering animals for unnecessary products. You can be plant-based. Almost everybody in the world, I'm guessing, can be plant-based. Therefore, we should choose to not exploit and slaughter animals because animals are conscious, just like us. We're different, but consciousness is something we share between us. Well, you need proteins for some. Sure, we can get proteins from plants. So actually, let me just get the protein. There you go. So animal, I hope you know, Sovik, that proteins are basically chains of amino acids, right? And there are essential amino acids, and then there are non-essential amino acids. So animal foods obviously have all the 9 essential amino acids that we need in our food. But legume, beans, lentils, and peas also have all 9 essential amino acids. So do grains, so do pasta, so do nuts, vegetables, fruits, mushrooms. Every single plant food has all 9 essential amino acids. It's just a matter of how much, right? And if you go for something like tofu, seitan, TVP, protein powders, you really can go anywhere. You literally can become a Mr. Olympia or an Olympic record holder. So all of those people are vegan, right? I'm sure you know that they're not lacking protein. I'm sure you can see that, right? Albert, if you literally, if you have questions, if you don't understand why we do something, just let me know, right? But just to say one thing. So fish, generally speaking, we don't need them, but they are part of healthy, they can be part of a healthy diet. And that's probably because of DHA, and you just can get that in a vegan supplement. So when you can prevent an animal from being slaughtered just by taking a single pill, I think you should. You know what I mean? I think we should. We can take the 11 other amino acids ourselves. Yeah, we can make them ourselves. True. What else? All right, let me continue reading this interesting beef article, right? In fact, research firm Circana is tracking a notable shift at the grocery store. For the first time, spending on ground beef, historically one of the fastest growing categories, has hit a plateau, right? So it's not declining yet, it's just hit a plateau, but we'll keep up with this, right? So it seems like pounds sold, price per pound, so price of rebuy has gone up 15%. Since when is this? I think since, it doesn't say, but the sales have plummeted. Ground beef plateau basically because 0.2% is not a growth. Brisket has grown despite growing 14%. I guess people are more likely to do something with it. Ribs, they're literally a byproduct, so that's why they haven't gone up as much. The price gone up only by 1.8%. So people are leaning more on ribs. And chuck, which is the most disgusting part of an animal, literally gone up. So people are just choosing the cheaper cuts, I guess. Right. We're seeing people opt away from beef, says Circana's Chris Dubois. Hope I said that. Or Dubois, I guess this is Dubois. For years, all we saw were increasing prices and increasing demand. And this is the moment of change. Last year, grocery shoppers bought... Oh, shit. Sorry. My flux has gone. Let's discontinue it for another hour. Usually at this time, I'm starting to wind down before sleep, so my flux is starting to make my screens redder, but that's okay. So last year, grocery shoppers bought 4% more ground beef than the year prior, Circana found. But in recent weeks, between July and August, shoppers only bought 0.2% more ground beef than a year ago. So it increases, but not significantly is the point. I just made the roast yesterday. Well, Miguel, you keep ignoring me. You keep ignoring me. I really fucking hate that. You should know something about me. I hate when I'm being ignored in my personal chat. Would you like to have a conversation, a voice conversation with me? If you're not answering this time, I'm just gonna time you out. I'm just gonna force a timeout on you. What sacrifice are you talking about? Am I missing something? Animals get slaughtered with agriculture. Jesus Christ, you don't even know what you're saying. So I think you mean that animals die for the production of plant products, and then you give us rabbits, groundhogs, waterfowl, etc. Ground up or displaced when growing and harvesting vegetables. Well, I have really bad news for you, Fred. Or really good, depends on how you go about it. Let me just get crop tabs. Where's the... crop tabs. So... Oh, fuck. So, first of all, here's what happens when food is harvested.
Y'all ever wonder what it feel like to get run over by a damn old combine?
Oh, look at that person getting harmed, right? Oh shit. It seems it can't even run over a fucking human. It can't harm a human. So you think it's gonna harm animals? small animals?
I guess I just had to keep looking for that rush, y'all. Hey.
You think that mice are just standing there waiting for this thing to come to them, but also it literally doesn't even touch the ground. So that's silly. On the other hand, when forage is harvested for animal feed.
Have you ever wondered how a forage harvester works? Gobbles the grass
Tell
to
me.
the front with whichever header you want to put on. This is a maize header, so it's got spinning discs that pull the maize together and chop.
Look how close it is to the ground and look how sharp those teeth are. If anything is likely to kill animals, it's this machine that feeds you, Freddy. But also is just like people are forgetting that animals eat plant food, right? So in fact, when eight foods are compared, animal foods kill the most number of animals altogether, and that includes the rabbits, groundhogs, and waterfowl. Whereas plant foods don't kill as many animals during the harvest, obviously. So your diet is killing the most animals, I guess. All right. Miguel is ignoring me again. I really don't like that. I really don't like being ignored. What if they get run over by these multi-ton machines? Well, you see, animals run away from loud noises. So they don't actually. But let's assume that some animals are getting hurt, right? Like a few animals per harvest, right? It's a matter of fact that I should add it into that. I should edit all of this, the environment, forestation, diets compared. So it's just a matter of a fact that 43% of crops grown are fed to animals. And then that doesn't even include like the forage and stuff. So just by the fact that the animal agriculture occupies all of this land, and a lot of it is like monocropping animal feed. Just by that fact, you should go vegan if you care about those animals, Freddy. Do you care about those animals? What about the displacement of these animals from their natural habitat? Well, you tell me, right? 75% of agricultural land, more than 75%, I think it's like 80% in this case, of agricultural land is occupied by animals, farmed animals and animal feed. Who do you think displaces more habitat? So by going plant-based, we would actually reduce the amount of land that we use for agriculture by 75%. Think of how many habitats can be built on that land. You should go plant-based, Freddy. Shit, I'm losing my place again. Yeah, on top of exploitation. Yeah, well, it includes the one that I showed, this one, it includes the exploitation slaughter. So, I mean, I understand what you're saying. Like in case of milk, they're not counting the slaughter in this case. So yeah, they should count the slaughter there as well. That's correct. Vegans, I'm so sorry. I'm gonna just like skip over all of your questions and stuff, all of your answers, because I know you're just fighting the same fight. You're open to new disinformation. Thank you. Oh yeah, I appreciate your openness. If you have any other queries of why you should go vegan or plant-based, let me know. Generally speaking, Freddy, here's the thing. I've been doing this for a very long time and I'm not motivated. In fact, if I could go back to just like not thinking about what food I buy, what clothing I buy, I don't buy much clothing. I find them on the street, like this shirt. But generally speaking, if I could go back to like mindlessly consuming, I would. So I'm actually motivated to the opposite. The problem is just any way you look, a plant-based diet and a vegan position is like the most moral in the world. So I can't do what I want in this case because it's just immoral in my opinion. It's immoral what we do to animals. We breed, exploit, and slaughter them. It's immoral what we do to the environment, which is included in this article that I'm reading, right? They're creating their own problem. They can't raise animals anymore because of climate change. And guess which food causes the most climate change? It's animal production. This is just land used. And every time more land is used, it's going to release more greenhouse gases. But also you can look at the greenhouse gas emissions right there, right? I'm going to read it out because it's tiny. So this is beef from beef herds, right? What I was talking about, that dairy cows are also slaughtered, right? And it's not included in this thing. There is also beef from dairy somewhere here. I'll find it. There you go. Beef from dairy is right there. Lamb, cheese, that's beef from dairy. Chocolate is pretty high, but I bet you don't eat like chocolate the way you eat beef. I don't, for instance, because I care about the environment, right? So I only eat maybe 10 to 20 grams of chocolate every now and again. Coffee as well, you don't interact with coffee. You don't eat literal hundreds of grams of it per day, I hope. Otherwise, holy shit. And then we have prawns. And then we have palm oil, which I also don't consume because I care about the environment. But in this case, palm oil, you also eat maybe 10 grams per day. You don't eat it like crazy the way you eat cheese and beef and lamb, right? You don't eat hundreds of grams of it per day. So consumption should be considered here because this is per kilogram. Pig meat, poultry meat. Olive oil has a little bit of a return there, but again, you only eat like 10 grams of it a day if you like to the extreme in my case. Fish, greenhouse gas emissions, eggs. And then you have some plant foods. So rice, I avoid rice because of this, but look at it. It's not even close to beef. It's not even close to all of those foods. And that's one of the highest plant foods that you actually interact with in the hundreds of grams that causes the greenhouse gas emissions, right? And then after that, that's fish that is like wild caught, still causes greenhouse gases. Can you imagine? It's because of the boats, I think. And then you have milk, but this is just the milk, right? If you add the cheese and the beef herd to it, the dairy industry is crazy detrimental to the environment. And then you have all the plant foods. Look at the look at what fruit do. I love fucking fruit. I fucking love fruit. I love apples. That's fruit, vegetables. Nothing. So if you care about the environment, even if you don't give a shit about animals, do you give a shit about humans? You should become plant-based. I'm sorry, Discord notifications. I'm gonna quiet it. I apologize. Unless somebody wants something from me. No, I think it's all right. Let's see. Say hi. Somebody. Just vegans came in. Okay. Guys, join my Discord server if you want to have conversations with me. The link is pinned. I'm so sorry, Linda. I've quieted it now. Let's continue. Shit, I forgot where we are. There you go. So Skeeter Miller, who runs a barbecue restaurant chain Country Line, says he's paying nearby double the price for hamburger meat that he did a few months ago. He says higher prices have started to drive away some diners, with visits down about 5% across his 6 locations in Texas and New Mexico. Brisket has jumped in cost too, forcing him to consider the unfathomable. I am just going to put a note on the menu that says, hey, brisket has gotten so expensive. I'm sorry, but I'm going to hold off on cooking brisket until the price comes back down. Unfathomable to just eat beans instead. Many of his rivals have simply shrunk their portions. But Miller says his goal is to feed people, not fool them. And his customers might understand, he adds, and they too are seeing record beef prices at the grocery store. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys. It's just like a rolling update about the downfall, the temporary probably downfall of the beef industry. It's not just in the US, by the way. Australia has similar problems, not similar, but different. Africa has problems in beef production. So does the UK. I mean, the price of feed is obviously crazy everywhere. Should we listen into, this good service popping. Let's go there.
To guide it to the cervix, and then he pushes the sperm into the cow. This is done in what the farmers called a rape rack. And this is a rack, again, a steel rack that they put the cow in, because obviously the cow doesn't want this to happen. And this is how they make the cows pregnant. It's disgusting. And obviously the cow doesn't want this to happen. Yeah? So that's the first bit. Yeah, that's the first bit. This is all for your milk, remember? That's the first bit. The second bit is, obviously the cow needs to have a calf next. When that calf is born, if the calf is a male, what do you think happens to him?
The same thing that happens to the bull?
No, he's a baby. He's just been born a few seconds ago. What do you think happens to this baby male animal?
I don't know.
Right. We don't need many bulls, so there'll only be about a few bulls around. So these bulls, and 50% of the calves that are born are male. So this male calf will be killed immediately, usually with a bullet through the head, because this male calf is a byproduct of the dairy industry. Nobody needs him. He's valueless. So he gets shot through the head. Or he gets sent off. Or he gets sent off to make veal. I don't know whether you've heard of veal. Veal is young calf meat, and veal crates are used. They put the male calf into a crate where he can hardly move at all, because they don't want his muscles to become firm. They want the muscles to be nice and slack. That's what veal is made of, because it's a very soft meat. It's baby calf meat. So those are the two outcomes for the male calves. If the calf is a female calf, she will be put back into the herd if they need more females in the herd, in the milking herd. But 9 times out of 10 they don't, because the herd's big enough. So she will be shot through the head as well. So I live in Scotland, and I live in Scotland, and I went past a farm not too long ago where there was a pile of about 10 or 15 dead baby calves that had just been born, shot through the head. This is all for your milk, remember? Yeah. So this is what happens to the calves. Now we go back to the mother. Now we go back to the mother cow herself. Yeah. She started being forced to be pregnant as soon as it was possible, and they force her to be pregnant once a year, every year. The pregnancy is the same as a human. It's around about 9 months. Every year they force her to be pregnant. Every year they take her baby away from her. This is the other thing that I've missed. They take the baby away from her, whether it's male or female. And mothers have a very strong maternal instinct, and babies have a very strong instinct to want to be with their mothers. The first thing farmers do is take the baby away from the mother, because you want to drink the milk. They don't want the baby to have it. So the mother, and I have lived and worked on dairy farms, so I'm speaking from experience here. I've laid awake in bed at 2 or 3 in the morning listening to a mother cow bellowing for her calf. She's crying out for her calf, and her calf is nowhere to be seen because we've taken the calf away, and the calf is crying in another building for its mother, his mother, her mother. This is the reality of the milk that you drink. Now, they do this to this cow 6 years on the trot. She's made pregnant, they take her calves away, they kill her calves. She goes through that stress for 5 or 6 years, till after 5 or 6 years, she just cannot take any more. So she breaks down, or she stops being able to give milk. And what do you think happens to her then?
Gets shot as well.
She gets sent to the slaughterhouse and turned into burgers. Now, this cow is about 5 or 6 years old. In nature, cows can live to 25, 30 years old easily. So this is a young calf, a young cow that has been forced to provide this substance called milk for people like you to drink, and you have no idea.
I don't drink.
You have no idea.
I don't drink milk usually.
You have no idea of the hell these animals are going through to provide this stuff, whether it's cheese, whether it's any dairy product. That's where it comes from.
I get you, but
Yeah,
in my
twisted
country, they don't do that.
They do it in all countries, my friend.
That's
All
really good.
countries.
No, I'm so sure, especially here in my country, because we are Muslims and we have a really strict things about those. Like they never shoot those animals, they slaughter them. And there is a fact,
They
scientific
slaughter them.
one.
They take their lives.
Slaughter.
They take their lives. It doesn't matter how they slaughter them.
Yeah,
They
but
take-
there's a
they-
scientific fact that says like there is a really specific way to slaughter an animal or
You're
anything.
talking about
So it
halal.
doesn't
You're talking
say
about halal.
anything.
You're talking about halal, aren't you? Are you talking about? Are you talking about halal?
How people think it's the first time that we hear
Yeah,
this point. It's amazing.
Halal way of
Yeah.
slaughtering
is-
those animals.
The halal way is a way to kill animals. What vegans have a problem with is the word kill. It doesn't really matter whether you saw the head off with a saw, or whether you shoot them in the head with a gun, or whether you cut their neck the way it is done in a halal way. This is all killing needlessly. These animals don't want to die. They're being exploited.
I
There's
know.
there's no right
And I
way.
believe
Listen, there's
that
no
you're right.
listen.
I don't.
Listen, there is no right way
Yeah.
to do the wrong thing.
I don't know. I actually have been raised in my like in my country for a really long time, in which I've seen people raise those cows without forcing them into anything, and I am
You
actually
you don't see the ugly parts. You don't see the ugly parts. They don't want you to see the ugly parts. The industry very carefully makes sure that the public does not see the horrible parts that go on. If they did, there would be billions more vegans, believe me. That's why slaughterhouses don't have glass walls. If people saw what happened, they wouldn't take part in it.
Oh yeah, I read this one, Tone. Holy shit.
That's so true. I don't know.
I read this one
you
a
know,
long time ago, though.
when you said all that about like forcing the cows to be pregnant and then taking away their child, that really made me feel so sad for them, and it is so bad. I don't like especially because I'm a really emotional person, and I don't like those things.
Hey, let me say something to you. Let me say something to you. What you're expressing right now, my friend, is vegan morals, vegan values. You care about needless harm being committed to other sentient beings. That's what a vegan is. And the only difference between you and us is that we have brought our actions in alignment with those morals.
Here's the thing,
we
though.
refuse to pay for this need.
Tone, here's the thing though, right? So a lot of this cortisol thing is part of ANS, as that's my understanding of it. So the cortisol collection right after slaughter. I'm not sure how reliable it is because a lot of it is automatic. Cortisol, generally speaking, is a hormone that is secreted by ANS as well. So after I've gone down this rabbit hole, that's why I read this study as well and studies similar to it. Because I made a video about it. Frankly, not understanding enough back then, but at some point, you know, I had a schedule. I had to cut it off.
Yep.
Who can't formulate an argument?
Yeah, and in Eid al-Adha, you know, like the day.
Thihad, is this how you choosing to use your extensive human intellect by trying to trigger vegans? Are you trying to hurt their feelings or something? Like, you should know we've been vegan online for a really long time, and we hear this exact thing like maybe 1,000 times a day, and we no longer are triggered by it. We're just accustomed to people not making arguments, but telling us, presenting us their kills instead, right? You're presenting your carcass through your text to us. We're used to it. So if your point was trying to hurt our feelings, that would be unsuccessful. But I would truly like to know if that's how you choose to use your human intellect, superior human intellect.
Maybe it was necessary to. Sorry. Maybe it was necessary to.
By the way, Miguel, this is a fable. So, as you can see, there's a lot of cortisol going through ANS, and ANS is active. Even if you slaughter them the humane way, this is shitload of cortisol being spilled into their bloodstream. Also, this is under research type situation, right? In an actual slaughterhouse, they're stressed out of their minds. Cortisol is flowing through them. So to combat this, there are several things that animal slaughterhouses do, like, for instance, shocking the meat or something. But it could just be that you are eating a gross meat, you just got used to it.
In the side chat, an article from the Quran, Surah Al-Hajj 22:37. It's
also, by the way, like, is that like a good way to die? Because, like, would you like me to kill you that way? Or I don't know, what are you advocating here for? It sounds like you're advocating for a good way to die. And I always say that, would you apply that to yourself? And if not, what is the morally relevant difference, Miguel, between... You're not listening anyways, because you've never answered my question. But what would be the morally relevant difference between you and an animal that makes it okay to slaughter an animal the nice way, taking them out, but wouldn't apply to you? Wouldn't that be special? Sounds like special pleading.
Talking to you and he interrupted. I let him say his sentence and then I muted him because he interrupted. I was talking to you. So
why should I ban you, Jason? If you want to leave, just leave.
I was listening to you very carefully, but I really have a say in this. Quran had given us strict things
the
to
brain
follow,
rot.
especially
the Islamic
especially
brain rot.
regarding animals. Especially regarding animals, and in numerous places the Quran says that animals have their own community and they will come to the Lord with your communities. They are a sentient, conscious being, and even if you harm the bird, is somewhere mentioned, I can't remember the exact words, you will not go to heaven if you needlessly, and this is the word, needless.
What name did I call anybody? And by the way, it's they, them, bombastic. You know at this point that my pronouns are they, them. If you are trying to just disrespect me, let me know, and I'll do the same to you. But what name did I call anybody?
The people can get food from the shops.
Answer my question. What name did I call anybody? I don't remember calling anybody a name in a while. I have called somebody a name today.
Scripture.
You honestly had no idea. That's fine. Stupid dense? When did I say stupid or dense? When did I say slow? What the fuck do you mean? Bombastic, I literally didn't use any of those words. And we have this recorded, as you can see. I literally never even fucking used those words. Earlier when I timed you out, I called you stupid, dense, and slow. I would never, and I didn't time you out. Oh, I timed you out. I said I don't want to. I don't listen. I don't want to listen to you anymore, or something like that.
Allah is more.
I would never. I don't even use those words like ever. Bombastic. Are you sure you haven't been listening to something else, or like to the voices in your head or something? I do call people names, so I write when it's appropriate. Calling somebody stupid, I don't generally use that. Definitely not slow or dense.
Needless to kill animals. Allah
I could be wrong.
Horrified to
this
see
is
you
recorded,
doing
so I could be
when
wrong.
You don't need to.
Yeah, you're true. That's true, and even for me. But there is a thing that says in the Eid.
No, I remember that I timed you out. True, I timed you out because I I can't do your bullshit anymore because I saw you calling me she again and again, and I was sure that at this point, you've been on this channel for a couple of weeks now, that you know that my pronouns are they, them, right? So sometimes I fucking couldn't be bothered. And people who disrespect me that way, I just time them out. Just happens.
That's right. They need to be live, and and the thing you were saying about forcing the cow to be pregnant and taking her child away is so bad, and I agree to that. That's so bad, and I believe you. But
taking someone's life is just as bad. Why? What is the difference between taking a calf's life after it's just been born and taking the life of a sheep needlessly in the festival of Eid?
Okay.
We do that not for just doing it. We do that to give it to the poor
needless.
people
It's needless.
who deserve it.
You can give the poor people vegetables. You do not need to give them dead animals.
Well, in our religions, there is a story about Ibrahim, which
sure, Bial. So a cow and a human are different, but we share this one thing called consciousness or sentience, right? We're both conscious, and if you think about it, like it reduces, like when you think, well, why is it not okay to, for instance, slaughter a human being? It ends up being reduced to the fact that they're conscious, they value their life, they want to continue living, they're very motivated to live, and therefore it's not okay to take their life away. The rest, like you can say, well, it's social, it's because we have empathy. Yeah, we have empathy because we know we don't want to be slaughtered, so we're not going to slaughter other human beings. Well, animals have the same thing. They have this consciousness and a drive to live. They want to live. And so it's not okay to slaughter animals or exploit them for the same reason it's not okay to exploit and slaughter humans. Yes, we're different, but we have a thing in common. Just happens to be the thing that makes it immoral to exploit and slaughter somebody. Consciousness doesn't make value. That's a slippery slope. I don't see how that's a slippery slope. That's the main thing that makes somebody moral or like morally relevant, right? Plants are not morally relevant unless they are like performing a function for a sentient being, a conscious being. So consciousness is the thing that even makes reason of is it moral or immoral? That question can only be applied to a conscious being. So consciousness is the entire thing. It's why morality exists. Without consciousness, morality wouldn't exist at all. It wouldn't be needed. It just would be plants doing whatever the fuck. or like non-sentient animals. That was true in the past. It states that if you don't have consciousness, you don't have value, and a lot of humans do not have consciousness. So humans who've lost consciousness, sure, generally speaking, at that point, they only have value for their family. Moral value, I mean, not like monetary value or something like that, or something disgusting. So moral relevance only exists with beings who are conscious. And by consciousness, by the way, I don't mean this thing that we lose when we go to sleep. I mean sentience. Sentience is the basal consciousness. It's the ability to be conscious. That's what I mean. Somebody who's born and they are conscious now, they're starting to value their life. Somebody who ceased to be conscious, so a human being in vegetative state or vegetative or brain dead state, that person lost their consciousness, their will to live. Therefore, taking their life away, generally speaking, in a vacuum, has no meaning. Their life at this point, and I saw this kind of boy a couple of days ago. I went to neurointensive care, and holy shit, there was a boy who went through a windshield because he wasn't wearing a seatbelt. That shell of a human being who's brain dead at this point is only valuable to his family, so he's kept alive. But there is nobody in there to value life anymore. That's what I meant.
Because that's what Abraham did, the prophet. And you could also read the story of Abraham and not go out there and slit, the goat's head or a sheep's head.
I already did that, and I read it, and Muhammad did not kill people for no reason. He had a reason. Those people are
they're
bad people, and they were
they didn't believe the right
trying
religion.
to kill him, like.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't believe the right religion, right? I mean, his most famous act is one of the religions of tolerance.
Fucking constant.
Is when he went in
the conversations about fucking Muhammad. That's why people disagree with you. Value is based on being one of us, not other you are sentient. Okay, let me test that, Baal. Do you eat dogs? Do you eat elephants? Do you eat giraffes? Do you eat dolphins? If the answer is no, all of those animals are not one of us. A lot of those animals that are stated, they don't even interact with us in any meaningful way. What makes them valuable is sentience, and sentience is not arbitrary. Literally, only like if sentience didn't exist, morals wouldn't exist, is the point. Let me just finish what you said there. That's a bad worldview to believe. People who are not sentient don't have value because sentience is arbitrary. Sentience is literally not arbitrary, as I stated again and again. Literally, the only reason morality exists is because of sentience. It's because of sentient beings that are deserving of moral consideration. Plants don't deserve moral consideration. Now, I didn't say that that boy that I witnessed who was brain dead is not valuable. I said he's valuable to his parents. He's valuable to his family, and he's valuable enough to the doctors that are trying to keep him alive. But there is nobody in there to have an experience anymore. That boy is not coming back. He's dying in maybe 6 months. Oh, I'm sorry. Looking at that boy was really hard because a lot of the function of his body doesn't work anymore. So once in a while, his saliva would get his saliva would get stuck and he would like cough like that, right? Because that's part of ANS, to cough You don't need consciousness for that. And holy shit, that was hard to look at. Maybe he wasn't entirely brain that well. I'm not sure about that. I'm not a neuroscientist. It's illegal, but it would be if there wasn't a pig to eat. Well, how about plants? Just eating plants. So you would eat elephants, zebras, dogs, cats. Is that your stance, Bial? Is that your stance? They're beings, but they are not us. That's fine. So, like, only human beings is what you value, Bial? By the way, if you want to have a voice conversation, you're welcome. Just click the link and join my Discord server, and I'll see you there. But by us, do you mean human beings? Yes, absolutely. So what does that mean, human beings? Like someone who has like human DNA, or that's your stance? That's fine. I'm just asking, what does that mean? Human beings, part of us. What does that mean? So having human DNA or human phenotype. So phenotype just means what we look like. If I live somewhere that was the only main food supply, yeah, probably, but you don't live there. So literally the vegan position is that exploiting and slaughtering animals is unnecessary, therefore we should stop. So as it is unnecessary for you to eat dogs, zebras, and elephants because there is other food, it's unnecessary for you to eat cows, pigs, chickens, and fish because you're not eating them to survive. You can survive on plant-based diets with some supplementation, and as you have internet, you have access to that. Beal, I'm waiting. What does that mean to be human? Is it DNA or is it phenotype or is it something else? Please, just I would love an answer, really, truly. Let me just go to full discussion. Let me know if you've joined Bill, if that's what you're doing right now. Welcome on onboarding. I should probably open that shit and close that. Okay, what else? Sorry, it was to your question about zebras, etc. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. What I'm saying is, yeah, if when necessity comes, you would probably eat humans. But the point is, that's not, we are in a trichotomy. It's eat zebras, eat pigs, cows, chickens, and fish, or eat neither and eat plants instead, right? That's why vegans are fighting for it so hard, because people could just literally eat plants and be in a fantastic shape. But instead, we exploit and slaughter and breed billions of animals a year for unnecessary food, basically for taste pleasure. Being human, it's not hard to define. Then please define it. Do you mean having human DNA, or do you mean having human phenotype? Because human can, as I just showed you, I gave you two options that are like another 5 or 6 of what a person would mean by the word human. If I would say human, I would mean, so evolutionarily, someone who's derived, like who's a Homo sapien derived from the lineage of Homo, right? So I would like to know what you mean by that. I'm not too sure why we do have such a fascination with still eating meat. Is it maybe that we are used to it? I can't think of the right word. Yeah, some of it, Brian, you kind of bang on the point, right? So people kind of grow up being fed animal products. The taste of it is really good, generally speaking, right? We get used to it. And it's also like pumped into us that, I don't know, we have to, that it's normal, that it's nice, all of that stuff. it defines entire cultures. And generally speaking, humans just are incredibly resistant to change. Humans just don't want to change. And by humans, I mean Homo sapiens. I do not believe in being inhumane to them, but eating them isn't inhumane. Sorry, can you define what the word... Can you answer my fucking question, please? Can you answer my question, Bial? Can you answer my question? What do you mean by human? Homo sapiens. Okay. So if you found out that your neighbors strived from the Homo... what was it? Give me a second. Bingo. I think it's somewhere here. Human-animal comparison. I think it's going to be in human-animal comparison. I really should fix my thing. So, right, so with genus Homo, right, family Hominidae, and species Sapiens. So let's say you find out, Beal, that Homo sapiens, I guess I wouldn't eat Neanderthals either. So that's inconsistent, right? So it is a phenotype, isn't it? It's somebody who kind of looks like you. Sorry, I should have read on a little bit, right? Because now we at the level Hominidae, and a lot of animals are in that family, right? So I guess you wouldn't eat gorillas? Would you eat gorillas, Bial? We do fight change a lot. Yeah, it's just psychologically like undeniable at this point, and it's incredibly sad because we could have made this world into a beautiful place for both humans and animals, and we refuse to do so, just basically like appealing to tradition, basically. So how our parents raised us, how our society makes us conform to, that's how we continue being. And it's incredibly sad. It takes like a truly brave individual to change their mind on something. So you would eat a chimpanzee, but you wouldn't eat a Neanderthal who's lower or in the same family. I don't even remember, right? But generally speaking, it goes back, right? Neanderthals died out a long, long time ago. So they're actually less close to us than chimpanzees are. So you see how there's a contradiction there based on your definition of a human, because you would actually eat someone closer to you than someone who's farther away. So I think what you mean by it is a phenotype. I think that's what you mean, Bial. Neanderthals can breed with us. They can't breed with pigs. Sure, but like supposedly there is nothing that precludes us not breeding with chimpanzees except for like social norms. We could, generally speaking, probably breed with chimpanzees. But you would still eat them, so it's more like an inconsistency you have there. I think, Bial, you should change your mind on that and just say that by human, you just mean phenotype, so what we look like, because Neanderthals kind of look like us. And chimpanzees look like us a little less, I guess. Devil's advocate, what about if we as humans are literally just animals and it's still on a lot of nature? On a separate note, I think this kind of change takes generations, not immediate. Well, here's the thing. In human beings, it can be immediate. I went vegan. I can't say immediately. I knew I was supposed to be vegan for like 2 years. But I turned from not considering animals with my actions to considering animals with my actions. When I thought, yes, I should be vegan, it was very amorphic. It wasn't like... it wasn't a stance, a moral stance, you know what I mean? So humans can change immediately, one by one. And if a lot of humans make the change, we're gonna change the entire generations from now on. It's just gonna happen. But what if we're just animals? We're animals. But we also have this thing called higher consciousness, which makes us philosophize our lives a little bit, you know what I mean? And have this like complex language. We can speak more than one language, for instance, which animals can't. So we have something very deep in common with animals, and that's sentience, the ability to have consciousness. But we're also separate from them. It's quite obvious we've made ourselves into something else. And therefore, we should hold ourselves to a slightly higher standard, I think. You know what I mean? But even if it was true that we're just animals, just the fact that we can philosophize about it would make it so that we should consider other animals. You know. It means that the approach for change needs to be different, as people don't like being told they're wrong. I don't know, I'm just a stoner. You're a stoner, Brian. Brian, are you vegan? Are you vegan? Weed is vegan, by the way. Don't worry about that. 8 billion people, crops and stuff isn't enough. Beyond Meat has shown too full of carcinogenic stuff. So let me try to break it down, Joshua. So 8 billion people, if all of them became plant-based, we would actually reduce the amount of crops we have to grow. So we would reduce the agricultural land by 75% and cropland by 200 million hectares, actually. Because we wouldn't need to grow all of this animal feed that we grow right now. That's right there. So that's your first claim. And Beyond Meat was shown to be carcinogenic. Where? What's the evidence for that? What's the evidence for that? Like, making that claim as a meat eater is a moot point anyways, because meat increases risk of cancer, so... you would have to show that Beyond Meat increases a risk to a higher degree, but there is zero evidence that Beyond Meat causes any risk of cancer. I don't know where you got that. Have been shown. Have been shown is like, was shown is like a claim that people just make up because you read some clowny word say somewhere. Individuals, it might be easier, but a large group might be different. Well, actually, every person that goes vegan affects somebody in their life. That's just a matter of fact. Morality is infectious. Once you're doing something moral, you're going to affect some people in your life. That's just a matter of fact. If you are an outlier to what the nature is, well, we're not in nature, so I'm not sure why you're using nature in this case, Brian. We live in a man-made civilization that's definitionally not nature. Then it may take longer. Also, FYI, thanks for discussing it. Look at both sides. Brian, I've been looking for both sides. I've been doing this for a while. Trust me. But also, like, are you vegan? No, I'm not actually, but happy to discuss these things. You're welcome to join my Discord server, and we can actually have a voice conversation if you want. I would appreciate that. I'm looking for somebody to have a conversation with. I'm so fucking lonely. I would love to have a conversation with somebody. Beyond Meat products are considered ultra-processed and full of forever chemicals. Beyond Meat are considered ultra-processed, but that's not what we're considering when we're talking about if something is healthy or not, or if something is carcinogenic or not. It's health outcomes. We should look at health outcomes, and the health outcomes of Beyond Meat are better than those of actual meat. And if you have proof that they are carcinogenic, please send it to me. My email is in the description, like all of my social media is in the description. Please, Joshua, please help me. But also, you don't have to eat Beyond Meat while vegan. You can be just on a plant-based, like a full-blown whole food plant-based diet. It may not be tonight, I'm afraid. That's all right. You can join the server now, and just like ping me there and tell me when you want to have a conversation, and we can do it. It is a stream-based server, so it's probably going to be either live or recorded or something like that. But I accept the status when somebody wants to just have a conversation with me. I would accept that. A lot less than crops, and you know nothing about farming. Well, this is not my data. This is like collected from scientific papers. And literally, if the entire world went vegan, we would need less crops. So, yeah, we just read an article of how the beef industry is basically fucked because of drought, because they can't grow crops. So, like, actually, animal agriculture, and from the modality of the droughts are because of climate change, and beef production causes climate change, like a lot, and other animal products as well, like a lot. Beef and dairy, I would say, are the worst, because, like, if you collect milk from here, dairy herd from here, and cheese from here, it's going to come up to here. So it's going to be pretty substantial. And by the way, irrigation systems exist. So when you say, I don't know anything about farming, it could be, Joshua, that you are kind of projecting. It could be. I could be wrong. Bad typing. No, you were actually very coherent as opposed to other people in the chat. Oh, I'm being evil again. So sorry. Okay. Thomas is arguing with somebody. Oh, you're Scottish. I have an ex-farmer who's also Scottish in the chat right there. He can have a conversation with you. I would love to hear that, because I love the Scottish accent, but I don't understand like half of what Tom says. So it would be interesting to listen in and be like, what? What did you just say? Did you miss the part where one night of rain ruins? Did you miss the part where irrigation systems exist? Watch Clarkson Farm. Did you miss the part where irrigation exists? Dumbass. Or did you miss the part where animals eat a lot of our crops, like 43% of them? Did you miss that? So, again, if we all went plant-based, we would reduce the amount of crops we have to grow by 200 million hectares. You're pointing me at like one farm somewhere. And whereas you're ignoring all of this damning evidence that your diet is more detrimental to crop production than anything else. Growing crops is way more difficult and expensive. That's just factually incorrect. Because, see, let me just go to trophic levels. 1 second. Trophic levels. There you go. It's right there. So, see, so when you produce 10,000 calories of plants, you have two options. Either feed those 10,000 calories to people, or feed them to animals to produce 1,000 calories. Right? And then eat that as a secondary consumer. We, of course, are not being turned into calories, so it's not going to be 100 calories. So when you... if growing crops was more expensive and difficult than growing animals, then we wouldn't have animal farming, like, at all. Because they rely on crops, man. They literally rely on crops. Where is it? Diets compared. Show you again, you are kind of dismissing it. 43% of cropland is used to feed animals. And then you also have the 2.89 billion hectares of grasslands, or I think in this case, pasture just also means like factory farming and stuff. You have all of this, almost 80% of land going towards feeding animals, and you think crops are more expensive and difficult to grow than animals, then we should definitely stop feeding 43% of them to animals, Joshua. I'm now extra aware to not call your name because then Bombard or whatever his name is was gonna be mean to me about it. Oh, is it one of mine? Yeah, I think it's one of mine, isn't it? Where they, yeah. This one is a perfect example of all kinds of stuff. Yeah, that's true. So, no farming is sustainable in general, true, but crop production is more sustainable, or like plant production is more sustainable than animal production by like 75%. But it's true, yeah. Growing food is unsustainable, generally speaking, and we should, start growing them in the lab or something. That would be better. Bial is now stopped arguing with me and is arguing with Pia. Pia, don't run yourself too much. Bial sucks. Shows you evidence for that claim. Bial, you wanna join my Discord server and have a conversation? Yes or no, please? I did respond to everything you said. Maybe this. It's funny how the nation with the greatest number of vegans and vegetarians drinks the most milk. India is not the nation with the most vegans. I don't care about vegetarians. Who gives a shit about vegetarians? Vegetarians drink milk, right? So that's the point. India is by far not the greatest nation with the most vegans. Vegans are very sparse in India, but it's a growing movement. The nation with the most vegans, as far as I know, is UK, United Kingdom. It's a fact that India has food issues, and that's not something I need to prove. Sure, they're a poor, desolate country, kind of. And it's actually animal production that's killing them the most because, again, they feed cows with crops that they grow instead of giving those crops directly to humans. However you cut it, it's like animal production is just really, really, really bad idea. You said you could breed with a monkey. That's false. Well, not a monkey, chimpanzee. You probably could. They're like really, really close to us. But nobody's testing that shit because gross. I mean, Neanderthals are farther away from us, DNA, speaking of DNA, and Neanderthals could breed with human beings, but you think chimpanzees can't. What are you basing your assertion that is false, what I said? You made a strong claim, you should back it up. Sorry, was away, joined the Discord. Oh, you think I messed up? Check it later. All right, let me see if you arrived. Let me just check, say hi. You have, so Vargosian is your name? I think that's you, Vargosian. So there is only one place you can talk in, so let me, ping me there and let me know when you want to have a conversation, Brian. I would love that. It's because they feed the cows and don't eat them. Well, no, like the milk production itself. Again, to show you the trophic levels, I keep clicking away from it. Maybe this time I just open it like that. Yeah, there you go. To show you the trophic levels, right? When you feed somebody and then you turn them into calories, that includes milk, you just lose like 90% of energy because us sentient beings, we move around and we use our brains, we think. So that's the thing that wastes calories. Cows are the same. They have big bodies that needs to use up calories and proteins and all of that stuff to basically live, right? To continue living. So every time you feed a cow, either to produce milk or meat, it doesn't matter really, you can only get 10% of calories from that. So it's a waste of calories either way. Let's see. We don't need to test if their DNA isn't the same. They don't have the same amount of chromosomes. Now they don't have the same number of chromosomes. Is that even true? Let me just ask ChatGPT something. I know ChatGPT is blah, but you know, we're on the fly here. Potentially, could we breed with chimpanzees? Let's add bonobos in there, or bonobos. If not, why? Why? Let's just test that. Short answer, no, humans cannot breed with chimpanzees and bonobos. Ah, you're correct. Well, according to AI. Chromosome incompatibility. Where humans have 46 chromosomes, chimpanzees, bonobos have 48 chromosomes. Okay. So check out, I guess you asked AI as well. How many chromosomes? Chromosomes, I think. My spelling is shit. Did Neanderthals have? Neanderthals, how many Neanderthals? Oh, had the same parasites. All right, I concede. I was wrong. So it's because you can't breed them with them, then you're gonna eat them. Is that your new stance, Bial? Is that your new stance? Because you can't fuck them and have babies with them. What's up, Fush? Plants don't yield the same number of calories that are in it. You're missing the point, kind of. So if you feed plants to cows and then eat the cow or eat its secretions, so milk, you're wasting calories by the fact that cow is moving, breathing, living, and needs to support their internal organs. You lose calorie just by the fact, you know, like, so if you take me, for instance, right, my caloric allowance is about 1,600 calories, which is what I eat, right? I spend all of those calories just by living, right? If I was in a caloric excess, I would start getting fat, right? But just by living, just by being alive and sitting on the couch and thinking, right? I can eat 1,600 calories, or maybe less if I'm not moving at all, right? And I'm going to spend them all just by being alive, right? So if you feed the cow calories, the cows are going to spend all of those calories on bodily functions, on having your lungs move, on having your heart beat, on having your blood moving around, on thinking. It's just like a matter of like simple trophic level understanding. So you're 1% Neanderthal. Okay. That's funny. So what's the morally, what's this part of us? So if you found out that your neighbors are actually like, they're not Neanderthals, they're not part of a Homo sapien, they're just like kind of aliens, but they look like humans and they are smart like humans. Should you like slaughter them for burgers, Bial? Please answer the question. In my opinion, the problem with dairy and meat comes down to mass production. Well, I don't think so. The exploitation and slaughter themselves are immoral. If what's happening to cows in dairy was happening to dogs, for instance, I think you would see a problem there, right? Because they're confined, they're exploited for their bodily secretions, and then when they're not useful anymore, they're sent to slaughter. That's true on a small farm or a big farm, right? But also, like, if the problem is mass production, then everybody should reduce their animal consumption to like 1%. If that's the problem, are you fighting for it, Happy Lemon? Are you willing to make that sacrifice and reduce your animal consumption to 1% so that the mass production would reduce by like 99% of what you consume? If it was more regulated, I think it would be beneficial to both of us, animals and us. I don't see how slaughter of an animal can be beneficial to the animal. I don't see how exploitation of an animal can be beneficial to an animal. They are very motivated by being alive and being free, just like human beings. Cows can digest the calories in the plants, we can't. Well, they're fed actual human crops, though. They're fed actual human crops. Some of those, I think 34% of all crops that are grown are edible to human beings. So, you know, like corn, soy. Like, imagine if we stopped breeding cows and just send that food to desolate places where humans are starving to death. Imagine that. I am getting tired. Protection from disease, which are genetically responsible for breeding, help races. Well, sorry. All of those animals are slaughtered. I'm not sure what you mean by responsible breeders. Do you mean like dogs? Dogs are literally just bred for human beings to buy. That's slavery. That in itself is an act of immorality. But also what breeders do is kind of disgusting because they track the reproductive cycles of animals. Sometimes, you know, by literally molesting them, but by touching their vaginas and their penises. It's not considered bestiality in the law, but when you look at the actions, it's indistinguishable from bestiality. But also, we don't have to do this. This is literally just like some quirkiness that we do. And the protection from diseases and genetically responsible breeders help races, you would have to prove that. You would have to provide evidence for that. And that anybody who says that they are a responsible breeder are actually a responsible breeder. Cows are not affected by chemicals. What chemicals? Plants have defense chemicals. We are not affected by those chemicals either because we cook off food. We're not affected by that stuff. It's generally speaking, it's more helpful for us to eat plants. We don't have to eat grass, right? We don't have to grow grass. All of this land can just become like a forest again. All of this is forests being cut down just to grow grass and stuff. Just forgo that. But also we are not affected by the defense chemicals. We're not. Unless you can provide evidence, Bial. Like, you're telling a lot of stuff. I'm really hoping to see some evidence. And you can send it to me. You can't obviously put links in the chat, but you can send it to me in my Discord server or to my email. I would eat an alien show if there wasn't a pig to eat. Well, there is plants to eat. Wouldn't you just like prefer to eat plants instead of aliens? right? What if there wasn't a pig? You would eat an alien. What if there was like plants instead? Wouldn't you just choose plants instead of walking, talking, thinking, smart, looking like us individuals? Protection for, okay, I've answered that already, I think. All right, I'm a little, I think you copied and pasted again, but I've answered this already. Happy Lemon, right? Let's see. Because they're not us. Well, you're gonna have to give us some traits there, BL. They're not us. It's just like, well, you know, in the past we would say, well, black people are not us. That was a little uncomfortable in retrospective, right? So just saying they're not us, without explaining what are the traits that make it relevant that it's okay to exploit and slaughter animals. It's kind of racist vibes, right? You wouldn't feed soybean to a human, Why? Soybeans are incredibly beneficial to human health. I don't know why you're saying that, BL. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm pretty... Whilst when you see vegan Brian Shaw, you'll concede? Okay. It's not exactly Brian Shaw, but he's Mr. Olympia. As a vegan Mr. Olympia, he's fucking huge. Are you conceding? Humans are not offended. Okay, BL, come up. For real now. You spewing a lot of shit. I would like evidence for it, and YouTube is just not a format for that, because you can't paste links to prove your points, right? You're making a lot of claims here. You're making a claim that humans are affected by the effect chemicals in plants, whereas all of our human health outcome data shows that the more plants you eat, the better health you have. So, must not affecting us for the better, I guess. So yeah, we're affected for the better, I guess. That's what you mean. Healthy is a spectrum, but the more plants you eat, the healthier you are. Or do you back? Sorry, I didn't mean to sound so disappointed. You think of you overly empathetic? No, not really. I'm compassionate. Compassion comes from logical consideration. I'm not actually overly empathetic. Not really. I can watch slaughterhouse footage for days these days. Like, I'm numb to it. I'm logical. I think causing slaughter is wrong. We've been breeding and eating animals for thousands of years. Well, we've been owning black slaves for many years as well. We stopped doing that because it's immoral. I think even if we've been doing something for a really long time, we should stop doing it if we find out that it's immoral. Nature is inherently cruel, but surely us humans, we hold ourselves to a higher standard because we have like laws against murdering each other, whereas in nature, animals murder each other all the time. There is beauty in murder. That's interesting, dude. I don't see beauty in murder. So you eat the chemicals that you claim cause detriment. So hypocrite. He's not one of the world's strongest men. Well, we have a world's strongest woman. So vegan athlete wins, not a world, European strong woman. Games, she's a vegan, right there. Sure. Well, you know, it's one of those things like it's like arguing about, well, science can't explain that, therefore God, right? It's a similar type of argument, Beal. So once there is a vegan strong man, you would have like zero claims to make, right? I don't care to mow the lawn while lawns shouldn't exist. It's a stupid concept. Americans, seriously, for real. I have to. Hey, what's up? I have to jump a little. I have a question. Would it be okay to remove some vegan options, such as cashews? So I know there is like a human issue with cashews. I think just cashews should be more expensive, and those women who pick cashews should wear gloves. Literally, the thing that could solve this is just giving those women gloves and telling them, look, relax, you're gonna make less cashews, that's fine, we're just gonna pay you more for that shit. So I don't think we should remove cashews. I think we should rehabilitate that industry to make it less exploitative. Some industries can be rehabilitated, other industries can't. So in case of beef production, the exploitation and slaughter of animals is inherent. Lab-grown meat aside, I put in lab-grown meat aside because that could actually be produced without exploitation and slaughter of animals, especially slaughter. But I'm putting that aside, just like straight up the beef industry. Can't be rehabilitated, man. It's always going to include slaughter in it. But cashews can. Cashews can be produced without harming human hands. I claim that to reduce the calories, you get to counter the point that calories are lost in heading. Of course they are. I mean, Bial, at this point. I asked you like 3 times to join my Discord server. Yes or no? Literally, all I'm asking for. I'm inviting you to have a conversation with me, a voice conversation. Literally, all I expect from you is to say, no thanks. Or yes, please. Right? But ignoring me again and again is just like, why? Please don't ignore me in my chat. It's my chat. God damn it. So just say no thanks. Okay. There you go. Was that so fucking hard? I invited you like 4 times. My legs are absolutely okay and strong without eating animal corpses. Absolutely. Look at that runner. German triathlon champion, not just runner, triathlon champion. So he was riding some bike and something else, I think swimming. That's one of the craziest sports, isn't it? It's just like pure endurance. And he's vegan. Strong woman, vegan. Look at that guy. Oh, Tory Washington, Jesus Christ. Sometimes I'm like, I want that body. I want to have that kind of body like that. Ripped stuff. Look at that ship. Nima Delgado. All of those Olympic and otherwise gold medalists. So all of those Olympic gold medalists. Mr. Olympia. Sophia Ellis, record-setting British female powerlifter. Another powerlifter, 3 record-holding powerlifters are vegan. And yet the standard goes up. Oh, it's not. There is only one Brian Shaw in the world. There's only one. He could be on a plant-based diet. He just chooses not to be, right? And if I veganize Brian Shaw tomorrow, and he wins a few more world records in the next couple of years, Bial, you'll have no leg to stand on. 0. Oh, I love this one. The Maasai warriors are still, on average, a lot stronger than any vegan and only eat meat and milk. Are you a carnivore dieter? What kind of a point is that? Are you a carnivore dieter? But also, look at those Maasai warriors eating in a vegan restaurant. Look at that. You eat 95% meat. Okay. Well, some people are just lost like that. So here's the thing, Bial. I will still really love evidence for your claims that plant defense chemicals harm human health. I would really love that. So you don't want to join my Discord server, then just send it to me, please. And we can review that at a later time. You literally said that. You said humans are affected by defense chemicals in plants, sometimes beneficially, okay, sometimes harmfully. I didn't read. Well, the harmful part is what I'm interested in because it just seems beneficial because the more plants you eat, the longer you live, the healthier you are. That's what modern science shows us. If you have evidence to otherwise, your Nobel Prize is waiting. Oh, that's ChatGPT. You ChatGPTing at me. Well, you know what? I don't give a shit what language models tells me. I would like ask ChatGPT to provide evidence for that claim. The reduced calorie intake. That's a good thing in the 21st century. But also probably incorrect because I actually have to like count calories to lose weight. If you just let me loose in the wild supermarket, I get fat. And since getting fat is a standard of calories in, calories out, that claim is crazy, in my opinion. But also, for most people, if that was true, that would actually be fucking good. Look at America. America should eat more plants. Is every plant healthy? The plants that we eat, the whole food plants that we eat, and most plants processed foods health like beneficial to health if not overconsumed. Actually, so that disproves your previous claim. No, you shouldn't eat your night bane. You should go to a supermarket and buy the edible plants. That's what you should do. Because you see, we're not in nature, as opposed to what some people claim. We buy our food in supermarkets, and everything that is in supermarkets, not everything is going to be beneficial to health, but everything would not kill you immediately. That's for sure. BL sucks. Well, let's just make fun of them at this point. Pia, just for fun. Yeah, well, literally nobody makes that claim. There are 30,000 plants that are the whole food plants that are healthy. So I have another question. Could cultivated meat production be okay for veganism? Absolutely, once it exists. I would say we really, truly, and I'm gonna piss off some vegans by saying this, even if it does has some rights violations, I think it's our duty as vegans, if not consume it ourselves, promote it as hard as possible, because that would reduce the rights violations to almost zero, to like 1% maybe. So absolutely. And if a company doesn't actually exploit animals and produces cultivated meat, I would eat that shit. Once in a while, because I think meat is not very healthy, but once in a while, I would definitely eat that. I would eat that printed steak for sure. If I'm sure that they don't actually exploit animals and get their cells in a non-exploitative way, and there are several ways where you can get that, definitely. What time is it? Holy shit, I have to go soon. I again forgot to eat. So, let's see. What's so hard to affect? Some plants have some bad effects on you, but you made the claim that plants defend chemicals are sometimes healthy and sometimes detrimental to health. That's the claim that I want evidence for, BL. That's the claim I want evidence for, that specifically plant defend chemicals have a detrimental effect on human health outcomes. I would love to read that study. Pretty sure it's going to be in caterpillars and not humans. Promoting cultivated flesh is a no-brainer, Hess says. What a child. I knew I like you for a reason. Hazel, you coming to VCO next year? Maybe, perhaps. I'm not sure I'm coming, but maybe, perhaps. Can you consider if you have the money? I would love to meet you. The reduced calorie intake, that was my point. In what way do defense mechanisms reduce calorie intake? I would like to see that evidence, Beal, because right now it just sounds that you are like, I don't know where you get your information. I would love to review your information, where it comes from. That we can't... Wait, your point, we can't eat 10K calories? I never made that claim. I never made that claim. So the trophic levels, I think you're misunderstanding. Where are we? The trophic levels, all it says that when going from plant calories to animal calories, you lose 90%. So if you would eat plants directly, you wouldn't lose 90% of calories. That's the only point I made. I do want to check out VCO. We'll look into it. Ask Chase how he done it. Chase was at VCO this year. How many people have you converted? So I don't like that, but you put it in quote marks. I can't really tell you exactly because up until lately I didn't really follow up. But I have a Discord server where when I have a voice conversation with people, they stay there for like, for follow up and stuff. So more than 0, I would say. But I don't have a number. I don't count. Like, it's not like... I'm not very interested in like having notches on the belt. I also don't see myself the type of activist that necessarily causes people to take the final step. I'm hoping that some people do that, but I see myself more of a bullshit debunker, frankly. That's why I have this site, right? This site holds in it all the commonly claimed information debunking, right? So ethics, where I explain why you should go vegan. This is the explanation. Let me just give it to you, please. And then all other ethical stuff are in here as well, like ethical concepts that prevent people from going vegan. I'm explaining sentience right here. Sentience is the thing that is morally relevant, dude. Logical fallacies. A lot of people make logical fallacies. They don't know how to logic properly, which is, no shame. We're not generally taught how to not commit logical fallacies. So I have some of them here. And, then health and nutrition, a lot of nutritious claims. As you can see, Beal is making some huge nutrition claims that I would love evidence for. Beal, you just keep saying, I just want evidence. Please send me evidence. I don't want this stuff that you keep saying stuff. I want evidence in human health outcomes. So please send them to me. Oh, you gave me key sources and findings from fighting critters to saving lives, polyphenols, plant defense in human health. Oh, let's check that one out. But let me finish with dude. Yeah, so generally speaking, I'm just going through and debunking many claims because, dude, the thing is that why people eat meat is kind of complex. They have this, it's okay to eat meat, and it's surrounded by a bunch of bullshit, frankly, and a lot of logical fallacies and a lot of lack of consideration of animals, a lot of objectification of animals as well. So I see myself in that role, less than direct veganizer, I guess. But it happened in the past. People went vegan from talking to me. Let's just find this one. So my prediction is this is going to be mechanistic speculation, and it's not going to include actual human health outcomes in it. understanding the beneficial impacts of phytochemicals, such as polyphenols, could potentially help prepare society to future pandemics. Thus far, most reviews have focused on polyphenols in cancer prevention and treatment. This review aims to provide a comprehensive discussion of critical roles that polyphenols plays in both plant chemical defense and human health based on the most recent studies, while highlighting prospective avenues for future research. So it just seems like that defense chemicals are beneficial. I want the evidence that defense chemicals are detrimental. And this study doesn't provide us that. Did you just ask ChatGPT to provide you with this study? So usually, Bial, when an abstract debunks your claim, that's where you should change your mind, I think, Bial. So I think it's on you right now to change your mind, because this debunks you. Because this just shows the beneficial part of your claim. It doesn't show the detrimental part of your claim. Due to extreme changes in temperature, can detrimentally impact agricultural productivity. That's not going to give us the claim. PP has detrimental to herbivore fitness. PPs can be detrimental to herbivore fitness by interrupting egg development and reducing... are you claiming that we're herbivores? Are you claiming that this talks about humans? I thought you were on 95% meat. Are you claiming that we're herbivores and you're still on a 95% meat diet? Interesting. So this actually debunks your other claim that cows can fight those defense chemicals. But it seems, since cows are herbivores actually, right, that it's a detriment to their fitness to eat plants. So isn't that interesting, Bial? I just want to see human health outcomes. Sorry, human. Fuck. I'm tired. Guess I'm getting tired. Although significant progress has been made in linking plant health and human health benefits, there are still many unknown regarding this area of research. Regular consumption of fresh fruits and vegetables have been shown to significantly reduce the risk to develop chronic disease, such as cancer and diabetes. Therefore, plants may contribute to long-term human health by reducing the incidence of illness of onset diseases, thereby reducing the need to medicinal treatments. Where, Bial, where did you find... Bial, are you going to change your mind? Bial, are you going to change your mind since the paper you linked to me debunks you? You thought that I'm claiming that we're herbivores. Absolutely not. We're omnivores. It just means jack shit in the 21st century. We can be on a plant-based diet because we have supermarkets, fortified foods, and supplements. And we have human health outcome data that says eat more plants and you become healthier, including this study. Bial, are you changing your mind? Pretty sure in this case it means just consumption, means just food. But also we're not herbivores. So I'm not sure what you're claiming then. Show me the evidence for the negatives. So far, that's what I asked you for, and you provided me a research that actually, thank you, I appreciate it, that actually debunks your claim and makes my claim or counterclaim, I guess. Correct. So I appreciate it. I appreciated that you debunked your own claim. But without evidence, you should change your mind if you can't find the evidence, Bial. Because so far it seems the more plants you eat. That was my claim, right? The more plants you eat, the better health outcomes there are. And here it is in this study as well. I'm smiling because I love being right. Or I love being proven right. By somebody else. How does a vegan diet compare to an omnivore diet for young developing minds? So generally speaking, all that needs to happen that kids should eat like dense kind of protein and calorie dense foods, so denser foods, and they should be heavily supplemented. That's true about all kids because the only thing that we have baseline for is omnivorous kids that also supplement at this point. Almost every kid has supplements at this point. Okay. Polyphenol can block absorption of essential minerals like iron, which lead to iron deficiency in some. Let's check it out. Let's check it out. Possible side effects. This just sounds sounds like human health. Okay. This is, by the way, I think an opinion piece. So it's pretty low. I think, let's see. All of polyphenol and antioxidants is due to the antioxidant property and ability to quench free radicals and reactive oxygen species, exert a beneficial effect on human health. And they are believed to slow down the aging process as well as to be useful to the prevention of the development of diseases. Am I missing something, Bial? This is again evidence for my claim. Let's go to the conclusion. Let's go to the conclusion. I should have maybe, oh, fuck, that long. Shit. Let's just read this. This review presents a comprehensive current state of the knowledge on the negative impact of polyphenol in humans' health, describing the possible side effects of polyphenol intake, especially in the form of supplements. What? Who the fuck is taking polyphenols in as supplements? Oh, sorry, dude, I'm gonna reduce that. What? The review begins with a brief overview of physiological role of polyphenols and their potential use in disease prevention, followed by harmful effects of polyphenols. So, okay, so we have to find which are exerted in particular situations. The individual chapter discussed the consequences of polyphenols' ability to block iron uptake. Well, guess what we have? Vitamin C increases iron uptake, which in some subpopulations can be harmful. As well as the possible inhibition of digestive enzymes. Okay, so all of this sounds like mechanistic, but let's check out. So let me see something that let's see the digestive enzymes thing. So let's search that instead. The main factor which affects the bioavailability, bioaccessibility of polymers in food matrix, food processing, and digestive enzymes. Let's go. Would love to see what the fuck is going on here. I'm sorry if this is boring for people, by the way. Okay. Modern investigational studies have demonstrated that various bioactives, including antioxidant, immune result from consumption of phenolic-rich diet. The health benefits of ingesting phenolics are greatly dependent on their bioaccessibility and bioavailability in the digestive tract and circulatory system. So what's the study actually? Oh shoot, I have to save it, I guess. Shit. Oh, I guess it does that again. There you go. Can just do that. Holy fuck. I want to see if it's in humans, actually. But also all of this language, like can, just sounds... oh, it's mechanistic. So mechanistic, BL, means that this wasn't tested in humans. The chemical definition, that's definition, who cares? Another human. So let's see. In vitro simulated digestion. I'm sorry, BL, this just means that it haven't reached the clinical research, because the clinical research tells us that tells us that so here's the thing, right, BL? I hope to make it really, really clear. So when you have a mechanistic speculation, so something that was made in vitro, so in a petri dish or something like that, right? So like you simulate a digestive system outside of a human body. All of that can be valuable for like testing certain drugs or something like that, right? At the end of the day, when you want to know human health outcomes, right? Because this makes the assumption. When you want to make a human health outcomes, you have to go to epidemiology and RCTs and then meta-analysis, right? You have to go to the highest level of hierarchy of evidence. I'm sure you know what the hierarchy of evidence is, but let me just show it to you anyways, right? So background information, then case control studies in case of serious. So that's human, right? That's human stuff. The mechanistic speculation is at best background information, expert opinion. But usually it's outside of it, because it's preclinical trials. And therefore it just doesn't have the power to give us what this study gives us, telling us that eating more plants, even if it's true, even if polyphenols have some kind of a detriment, every food has some kind of a possible detriment in the body. In the end, when you look at health outcome studies, the more plants you eat, the longer you live, the healthier you are. That's just a matter of fact. And the mechanistic speculation, it's valuable, just not to us as human beings, knowing what we should eat. Like all of this, like, right, the inhibition of digestive enzymes, the only way you can know this is if you test on animals or test on some kind of a simulation of the digestive tract. And that stuff just happens to... Let me explain it in another way, and then I have to go. I apologize. So I should probably... sorry, Bial, I haven't read any of that stuff. I'm just talking, right? And you know, you're welcome to join me at some point and have a conversation about this. But right now I'm spilling the information that I know. So when you absorb something, right? You absorb, I don't know, coffee, water, whatever, right? It goes through several places, like a bunch of nutrients go into bloodstream, and then like, I don't know, hormones are excreted, and then that shit goes through the liver, and then some of that stuff goes, or like maybe the liver tells the gallbladder to like excrete some stuff, you know, and then it goes into like a digestive system. I mean, it goes into the digestive system. From the digestive system, there's a connection there. It goes into the liver, and then it goes into like small intestine, and then into a large intestine, and it goes like around like that, right? Our large intestine goes like that, and then it's secreted. You poop shit out, right? In the large intestine is where you absorb a bunch of stuff, right? So a lot of things are happening when you ingest the food. So saying that something happening in the small intestine, for instance, right? There's some kind of an inhibition of absorption. It's absolutely meaningless, because it could be that it goes into a large intestine and then everything is absorbed there. It could be that you actually excrete some stuff, right? And you don't absorb some stuff. And yet when you eat that food instead of another food, because that's how nutrition works, your health outcomes are better. And that's what happens to plants. It could be true that the digestive enzymes are inhibited or something like that, and yet plant food would be still better for human health outcomes than animal foods. Those are not exclusive from each other. Literally, it could be, right? I'm going to give you something extreme. It could be that when you eat something, it actually does damage to your esophagus or something like that, right? Like spicy food. Right? And then it like goes on and gives you shitload of nutrients because of that damage. And that damage is like really quickly fixed. And even if that happens chronically, it just never gets to like an acute state. And it could be that eating spicy food that damages your esophagus, for instance, right? Like I'm making a claim that could not be true. It could be that despite it does something detrimental in your body, that overall the digestion of that food, especially when replacing other food, is beneficial to your health. You know, like when people say, well, fish has like all of these heavy metals and all that stuff. Despite having heavy metals that probably do wreak some havoc somewhere in the body, fish has good health outcomes. It just also happens to be that it's highly immoral to eat fish. But it has good health outcomes, all right? I can't deny that. So you have to look at the whole. And the only way to look at the whole when it comes to human health outcomes is looking at epidemiology, RCT, and meta-analyses. All right? All right, guys. This has been... Let me just leave the Discord server. This has been really interesting, the last part. I love doing this shit, Bial, so I appreciate the experience of going through this. I love that shit. My usual customers know this. So thank you very much. Thank you for being here with me for 3.5 hours again, and 3 hours or so in the beginning of this day. I really appreciate all you hunt as well, shit. Well, it's just like really, really immoral, man. So it just happens to pan out that if you ate plants, you would be healthier. And maybe you just leave animals alone or something. Like, they don't deserve what you're doing to them, Beal. And you're doing it unnecessarily. You actually increase your risk of disease and early death. P, I appreciate you very much. Everybody, see you next time.